Hey everyone, welcome back to the Keep Watching podcast, where we decide what to watch so you don't have to. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
And today we're going to be talking about Singles Inferno 4, episodes 9 and 10. James, still no game changer. What's going on? How you feeling?
Yeah, wow, this season. Yeah, so at the end of last podcast, I feel like I was like, okay, they clearly need another game changer, right? Like, what's the mystery? I feel like everything's kind of there. We know it, right?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
going to come out. It's not going to be the way I thought it was. Although I'm still very confused. I'm still very confused on
I'm
the edit of
so
this TV show.
confused. Yes.
And then, so in these two episodes, though, I was like, okay, I see where the intrigue is. This is getting good. And then immediately ripped it, all intrigue in this season, out from under us. Like, but what I'm confused about is, like, why, other than just transparency and telling us the truth, which is fine, I guess, but, like, they didn't have to do that, right?
They
didn't have to tell us that, like, these people had no chance.
But do you think that's like 100% or something weird?
That's what I'm wondering, because I've never seen an edit like this before, where they're just like, yeah, this person is just, they straight up told them they dumped their ass on this TV show. And I cannot, now maybe we just have people on this season that are willing to do that and have more adult conversations than in previous seasons.
Which, hey, I'm all for. Yeah,
I guess. I mean, it's in this situation specifically, it makes the season much less interesting if it all is true.
Yep.
But
we'll see. We still got next week yet. 2 more episodes.
It feels like something is wrong. Right? Like, this cannot be the show that they produced and edited and now they're showing it to us. This just can't be. It just can't be what they decided was the best way to tell this story.
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying something new. Who knows?
Where we're at the end of episode 10 is where we're going to be at the end of episode 12. I feel like they failed at some point in telling us a story that we were going to like. I don't know. Unless there's something here that people are like, I mean, there's still the Dongho stuff. I'm not buying any of the Dongho stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's going to switch. But even if he does switch, I'm going to be like, but why though?
Yeah, I feel like the past 3 weeks of previews have been like, there's some spicy Dongho stuff that's about to come. And it just doesn't, like...
I mean, it led
people
to
are saying things at it. Yeah, Halen's going to say stuff at him, but like...
at least he's going to Paradise.
Yeah, that's true.
At least he's going to Paradise with somebody else. Which is what I really wanted for other people as well. I think this season could have been great if the Paradise dates worked out, especially with the way Sion is and how, like, just like whoever she talks to most recently, she likes the most. Like, Theo just gets absolutely screwed here. I mean, he doesn't win the game, so you can say he should have won the games, but you know, there's some rule changes on the fly going on here. Sarah was all about, we gotta follow 100%. The rules. We gotta follow the rules in last episode. I'm like, fuck it, you know, send Theo to Paradise with nobody, and he just walks into the bar, and now we're on he's a third wheel on the Paradise date. I don't care. There's no rules. The rules are, if Sion is telling producers that she's still thinking about Theo, then Theo, hey, you win a trip to Paradise. That's the rules.
Well, not this season anyway. It's not how it's worked out so far.
All right, well, we can speculate. I have to wildly speculate, because if I don't, there's nothing to root for here. So we can wildly speculate when we get further into the recap here. All right.
Yeah.
Gotta give out comments this week. Yep. People are still kind of all over the place in terms of who they like and stuff. But Peaches is a Daredevil. Let us know, because we were speculating on the Theo and Sion date and how they didn't show us what happened at night, or the bedtime situation there. They sent us a YouTube clip from an unreleased scene, and they do show them. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did watch it.
You did watch it, okay. Yeah, they do show them they showed them the morning after, but I feel like in that clip they've gotten up and then, like, Theo is back in the bed, but I don't think he slept in the bed, and then she's on, like, this couch chair thing.
Yeah.
It seems a little, I don't think that's where they slept, but they do show that they had like the extra twin bed was kind of up
It was
against the
there,
main
yeah,
bed,
yeah.
similar to what Sion and Jungsu did. So in all likelihood,
yeah,
they did not sleep in the same bed.
Yeah,
We
seems
still
unlikely.
don't know if she offered though.
That's
which
true.
is the main thing. Yeah. But that was helpful. I have not been trying to
I have not kept up with the
reach out. Yeah, I
released
haven't been.
unreleased
Yeah,
videos. Yeah.
I've also been trying to stay away from like opinions on stuff. I did see some headlines that were shitting on Sion. I assume it's about the bed stuff, and if that's what I didn't actually watch it, I saw videos of like, I think a headline I saw was like how Sion like ruined her life or something, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
jeez.
I was like, what?
That
I
seems
didn't
extreme.
actually watch the video or the article or
Yeah,
whatever it was
yeah.
because, but if it's anything to do with like the bed situation, like yeah, people get over yourselves.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm gonna shit on Sion's like decision making and all this other stuff. But if it's related to the to the bed stuff, no, who cares? That's
Yeah.
fine. You do use Sion.
100%.
Yes, and I don't remember who, but shout outs to the people that figured out that Jongsu was picking Yujin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that is totally off the board. And I didn't even realize when I read that comment that it was that far off the board. I just like in my head I was just like, oh okay, it's one of the two that we thought it was. But then when I watched the episode, I was like, wait, Yujin's not one of the two that that the show set it up being. So that was some good detective work by people.
Yeah.
I think they
Nice
noticed.
job.
I think they noticed Yujin's dress or something.
Yeah,
so,
in the previews. Yeah,
you can sometimes you can do that if you really want to spoil yourself. Kind of, I guess what it wasn't a huge spoiler, but it was interesting.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get in on this.
All right.
Sion has picked Junsaw. Sion has picked Junsaw, right? At the end of last episode.
Junsaw has picked
Oh no, sorry, Junsaw. I'm getting confused between who's picking it. Okay. Junsaw has picked Sion and not Minsol, and everybody's sad.
Everybody's sad. Well, presumably Junso Sion are not actually sad. They're happy. But, everybody else is
Sion
sad.
didn't seem that happy during the date. I don't know. I mean, she probably
during the date, but I mean at the time when the picking happened, she was happier, I assume. But yeah.
Yeah. So you think she wanted to go with Junsaw, right? I mean,
yeah.
I guess that's what
she even said, like when they had the game that the guys competed, like she
she
was
told
rooting
us
for
she
him.
was rooting for Junsaw. Okay. Yeah, that seems right. I like that part. I'm good. Yeah. I'm on board with Sion so far.
So far, everything's making sense. Yeah.
Jungsu is picking second. He's gonna pick Yujin.
Classic. Let's just pick a fun person because I cannot go with the person I want to pick.
You like this though, right?
Well, I like it in theory. I didn't love the way he kept referring to her as an Oompa Loompa and just
no, that was
like a harmless person a lot. I thought she was just like small. His verbiage.
I didn't actually get the reference, but Oompa Loompas might mean something different in Korea.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this was the translation, but he kept referring to her as harmless, like meaningless, almost like, oh, she couldn't possibly have an effect on the way he's feeling, just, I don't know.
Is there like a Korean like Jungsu in the Chocolate Factory that
that we don't know about?
And like Oompa Loompas are totally different in that movie.
I don't know. Or it is just the traditional Oompa Loompas we're used to,
Yeah. We'll never know. I imagine it's the Oompa Loompas we're familiar with. Okay.
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Oh, but in his confessional, like he says some shit that pissed me off too. Because he says that if he went with Heijin or Halen, then they would know that, he didn't have feelings for them. I'm sorry, but last episode, he was all like, yes, I had very clear conversations with them, and they know that I only have, like, feelings for Xian. I'm like, this guy is just always lying.
I thought what he was saying was, like, he didn't want to take them and then disappoint them by just telling them again that he's not interested in them anymore, which I thought was, like, kind of fair. Like,
that's not how I interpreted
I'm not gonna
what
pick
he
you
said.
two, and you guys, I don't want you to like think I am. He actually almost did what they were asking, right? Like, don't be nice to me. Actually, I think he I think he listened to them by doing this, right?
Did he? I don't know.
Like, don't be nice to me and take me to paradise if you're not actually interested in me. I think he did the right thing.
I don't know. He's my new villain. I don't like him.
Well, he's definitely the villain of the season, and he might get the main girl in the end at this point. So, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then Taehwan is going to pick Jiyeon. He didn't fall for the trap or whatever it was.
It wasn't a trap.
It wasn't a trap, but it was something, right?
It was
It
her
wasn't. It
being
wasn't nothing.
very nearly honest with him, almost honest.
Was it? But isn't it going to end up being that she was like, I'd kind of rather just like take the day off from you and think about it? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what
nearly
she said
honest.
At all. That's nearly honest.
It was nearly honest, where she's like, yeah, maybe we just take a day.
I never said I didn't want to go to paradise with you, but I
mean, she heavily implied it.
Are you sure? Because that's not the way you were reading that as in the last podcast, was it? I thought you were like, oh, this is just a nice thing of her to do this.
No, I said I think I meant to say it wasn't a trap. I don't remember what I say from week to week, but whatever.
It wasn't a trap in that like she was testing him. It wasn't a test.
Yeah.
It wasn't a test.
I didn't think it was a test.
But she was trying to like get him not to pick her because she didn't want to get picked.
Yeah.
But she also didn't want to break up with him, I guess, is why she didn't.
Yeah. I didn't think that it was a, hey, I don't want to go with you again. But I also didn't think it was a trap. And it turns out to be more of a, I don't really want to necessarily go with this guy. But that's okay.
Yeah. All right. Did Sian and Jinseo coordinate their outfits? They were in all black.
Oh, they certainly looked like they coordinated their outfits.
Yeah, they did. Okay.
Well, then we get some quality girl talk with Minsol, Haylin, Heijin, and Arin. And Minsol is just like annoyed that she didn't get picked and is like, here is every detail of the conversation I had with this man. Wouldn't you also expect to get picked?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
There are a couple of details. I mostly have stuff written down for when they talk when Sian gets back. And there's definitely some like details that they're leaving out, I think, when they rehash the conversation.
Okay. Yeah, Minsol is definitely not letting it be. Yeah.
I think the Jinseo Minsol thing was weird.
Yeah.
And Jinseo's like gonna try to explain it later at the end here. But yeah, understandably upset, Minsol. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It didn't help that she thought she was gonna get picked, and then everyone
else thought she was gonna get picked. Yeah.
I don't know if Sian also thought she was gonna get picked, but everybody that talked to her is like, yeah, of course he's gonna pick you.
But also, like, what else are you gonna say to somebody who's like, yeah, I think he's gonna pick me? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the
I guess it's just like, yay, good for you. Not, yeah, he's definitely gonna pick. Yeah. Well, I mean, in a case where you don't have any more information than she has, I guess it's just like, okay, yay, go have a good time.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Why would they know that he's not gonna get picked?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could be the friend that's just like, yeah, it would make sense if he picked you, but like he also might not though. Does that come across as mean, or is that even though you're just being realistic?
It might be they do not know each other well enough for that kind of frank conversation.
Okay. What I did like about this scene was like a lot of the Minsol stuff in these two episodes is like her talking about this conversation and kind of she talks about it a lot to the point where some of the women are like, oh, she's coming over here, she's probably gonna talk about that Jinseo stuff again. But in this scene right here, they actually like she goes through this whole thing of like, this is what he said to me, like, how did he not pick me? And then at some point she's like, I did not come here to be played with, or something like that. And then all the women are just like start teasing her, and they're like, as soon as he comes back and says he'll talk to you, you're gonna perk right up, you'll be fine. And she doesn't even push back on that. She's like, yeah, probably.
She's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So,
she is not out on him in any way.
Yeah. I think like something was weird about it from Junseo's perspective, but it wasn't like so dirty that like
yeah.
Even the rehashing, even when Minsol tells the conversation, I don't think any of the women are like, oh my god, what a scumbag. They're just like,
yeah,
oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. All right, paradise dates. What's the order we do these? They're gonna merge together at some point.
They are gonna merge together. Let's do a little Jongsu Yujin first.
All right, we got that. All right, they have dinner.
Yeah, and they sit down and he's like, let's just focus on eating for a bit. Just like, don't even talk to me. I'm not here for this.
I'm not here for like conversation with you.
Yeah.
I don't remember him saying that, but okay. I believe.
Well, that is me commentating on top of let's just focus on eating for a bit.
I just wrote down that he almost immediately admits that like Sian is the top of his list.
Oh yeah.
Is the way he phrased it, I think, and yeah, he picked her. Like he just tells her, "I picked you, just have a good time."
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, bonus points for being upfront about that, but I don't know. He felt a little insulting language At least as far as I was
Okay.
interpreting it,
Okay.
in terms of just like, yeah, you don't matter. It's fine. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he says he chose her just to have fun, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, to
Uh,
have a good time on a date and then like not be interested in her at all. It's like, I don't know. Yujin seems like she's really fun to hang out with.
I had to bring back the if you know what I'm saying to this podcast.
Yeah,
This
it's been
season
a
needs it.
while.
The season needs it.
Yeah,
We
it
we
does.
desperately need it now. Don't worry. I have more. I have more later.
I'm looking forward to it.
uh Eugen asks why he likes Sion. So Jonsu has to answer this question again, which is just funny to watch. Not a very deep answer, right? He
No,
just says something
no.
like,
Basically, she hot. Yeah.
"She makes my heart race, and she has a nice face/smile." That's like
hmm
essentially the sentiment he said.
And he's just like, all men would find her attractive. She's just default attractive to everyone.
Is that how he phrased it?
Or just something like, she has a lot of qualities that men find attractive. It's just like, okay.
Okay.
Oh, but he did say some stuff about like how he hasn't dated for a while, so he didn't think he was romantic anymore. But then when he like had that first date with Shion, he suddenly felt it again. I'm like, then why are you on this show if you think like what? Like you have no romance left in your life?
That's a common
But
story on these shows,
is
though.
it?
I remember like just the guy from Heart Signal 4. That was kind of his story, wasn't it? Like the guy that does the business, the main guy, the main
The
guy that I
main
liked, the
guy?
main guy that I liked.
Oh,
That he didn't pick
Minkyu?
Minkyu, yeah. Is
Yeah.
that was? Yeah.
Was
He
that his
was
story?
yeah, he was like, I don't really have a tough time to date, so I haven't really thought about dating in a while, and then I thought if
Well,
I go
that's
on the
like
show, then I might spark
that sounds like
my
I have a hard time
romantic.
meeting people. This might help me meet people. Whereas Junso sounds more like he didn't like have an interest in dating, or it's just like not. I don't know.
Oh, he might. Well, he might be like framing it in that way, so it looks like he wasn't trying or something. But
Oh, yeah, that's true.
maybe,
Trying to
yeah.
seem cool, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're not meeting people, right, then you're not sparking romantic interest. But
Yeah.
if you go on this show, you'll meet people, and you might. So I don't know.
I
It kind of makes sense.
guess.
That kind of makes sense. I also noticed in this, I don't know how many times it happens, but at least once, Yujin is unironically slapping her knees when she laughs. Like,
Yeah.
literally doing knee slaps.
Yeah. She's having a good time.
And when she doesn't do knee slaps, she like will clap her hands together. Like there has to be a
Mm.
slapping situation when she laughs most of the time.
Yeah. It's a full
Okay.
body experience. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know people that actually knee slap? Like I heard, like, oh, it's a knee slapper, but like, do people actually laugh like that? I guess they do.
I guess they do. I don't know that I've noticed somebody ever doing that, but like, I don't know. I'm a person who talks with my hands a lot, so yeah, sure, why not?
And your knees.
Not so much my knees, but my hands definitely.
I saw that and I was like, it just like it almost looked like cartoonish to me. I was like, what did I just watch? All right. Who's next? I'm done with these. Well, these two are gonna come back.
Yeah, yeah. I guess.
Jinsol.
Yeah, Jensen and Shion.
Okay. These two are exhausted. You know, they've had to go to paradise so many times, which
such a burden.
it is a burden. It is not actually a burden emotionally. I'll tease them all day for people that are like, oh, it's so hard having to choose between all these people. I'll tease that all day. But I do think the process of going to paradise and then you're like, I don't know. There's like, I feel like there's a pressure or like, I don't know if it's producer expectation or what, but they do end up staying up like super late just because they're on a date and they're sleeping in the same. Yeah, it's like it's naturally they're gonna stay up late and then it's early hours. And then this season they're going to other locations.
Yep.
Paradise this season really seems like almost an all day event, not just other seasons. It was just like go to the hotel at night, then come back in the morning.
Right.
So I think there is a lot going on in Paradise. So both of them are exhausted. This is what this is.
This is what happens when you constantly get picked.
It's 5 for Sion and 4
Literally,
for
she's never not gone, right?
Yeah. Neither has Jinsol, but I think she had a bonus.
She had more opportunities. Yeah. At first, though, even though they're tired, like I had a little like they're kind of feeding each other at the beginning, and you know me, I always think that means something. And then it just looks like they have nothing to talk about, and it's the worst date ever.
Yeah. that I feel like you could probably do this with a lot of dates, which is why I was like not reading too hard into it. But then it kind of
Mm.
gets more awkward. Like
Yeah.
if they want to make it seem awkward,
Oh yeah, you could
they
edit
probably
an okay
could.
date to look pretty awkward if you just cut out all the conversation.
Yeah, but there are things that are being said. I don't know.
Yeah.
There were some shots that I was buying, and then other times, like they would just cut to Sion's face for like a second, and I'll be like, I don't know if that reaction was in the moment or
Oh
not. But
yeah. But she was certainly making a face like she wasn't having a great time. A lot of what we saw.
yes, yeah, and that at least seemed like it had to be some percent true, some
Hmm.
percent representative of what's going on. Yeah, so we see that Junsaw promised her yesterday. We get like the whole sentence he said. I think we only got part of this in the last episodes. But he said he promised he would like win the guys' game and choose her again. That was like a promise he
Mm.
made to her.
Yeah.
I think we saw like half of that. Like he didn't mention the guys' game in the previous episode, but that's I think in terms of a retelling of a story,
Hmm.
I think that we're going to get later. I think it's important to know that's specifically what he says.
Mm.
Now, is
Yeah. Yeah.
picking her again when he wins the guys game pretty indicative of who he says is probably going to choose at the end of the season? Yes, but
Yeah.
as far as we saw, it wasn't like I'm picking you at the end of the season. He didn't say that, at least from what we saw.
Yeah. That's true.
And then so this time on the date, they're like, okay, the guys game is done, so they're expecting a women's game
Hmm.
later. And Sion says if she wins the women's game, she'll think about it. So maybe she was just being funny. I'm not sure, but it almost maybe seemed real. Like
Yeah.
again, she said she's confused, so it would
Hmm.
be kind of shocking for her to make a promise to him
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this
That's
point.
true.
Um, then here we go. This is also important to know. Sion asked him who he would pick if Sion wasn't an option today.
Yes.
I think that's
And
important to
he
note too.
says, probably the girl I went to
Yeah,
paradise with the second time.
yeah, he forgot her
Doesn't even
name.
use her name. Like,
Well, he had to write
I'm
her name down last time.
I am more and more out on your boy, Just I swear every time he talks, I'm a little bit more out.
No, he can't remember the name. He had to write it down in his hand.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, but it also was hilarious. So I liked it. Again, she's just the best character we've ever had on these shows. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
You know?
okay.
Not saying you have to want to date him or even like him, but he's bringing the heat. All right. um, legit though, he might not remember her name. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think that's true.
It was either that or he was like trying to act like it wasn't a big. What's weird
Oh,
is
just like trivialize
yeah,
it, like, oh yeah, just that other girl, whatever.
that's the way I saw it at first. Was like, oh yeah, he's trying to like minimize the second person, which
But he's Mr. Honesty, I thought he was
but it
all
could be
about being
real, right?
straightforward. Yeah.
Well, it could be that he's trying to answer her question, but the reality is he's already like fully committed to Sion in this moment, right? So it's like he wants to minimize it because in the reality, his second choice is significantly less than her. Um, he didn't have to do it that way. There's probably a different way to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
I can see if that's the case, why his brain spit out the words that way.
Uh-huh.
But then he's gonna like say a lot more than he needed to about Minsole in a weird way.
Well, Shion does ask why specifically,
I
so
guess that's
like,
true. Yeah, yeah. She's asking all these things, so
yeah.
yeah. I guess that's my best guess. Is like he's already kind of decided.
Yeah, but he doesn't say that part to her. What he does say is that Minsole's been weighing on his mind and he's been thinking about her a lot.
In the context of like he feels guilty though, right?
Yeah, which isn't
Which is
great
which
for
is a
Minsole at
detail that is
all.
going to be over the same
Uh-huh,
way that
yeah.
you did is also going to be uh not remembered in the retelling
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
story. So
Fair. Yeah.
yeah. All right. What else? More awkwardness. Oh, I wrote a lot of stuff down after she said why. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's been weighing on my mind. And then something about the feeling guilty part. And it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like I kind of interpret it as like kind of how Sion what it appears like Sion is interpreting as jealousy. Like, oh, I'm feeling jealous that this guy is with another girl, so that means I must like this guy. I feel like Jinseo is like
Mm.
internalizing, like, okay, why do I feel guilty though? Maybe that means I like her. I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know. Something like that. Yeah. He says what he says about Minsel though. He says, "Oh, he said we only talked about trivial stuff when we went to Paradise, but Minsel is so funny and her jokes always land. Let's go. I like the Minsel hype up here."
Yeah, but like, I don't know if you want to compare, like, start. I don't know. It seems like a bad move on a date to be like, oh yeah, this other person is so funny.
She
But you
literally asked him.
know.
Okay, he didn't bring it
Okay,
up,
okay,
which
okay,
is very
okay,
important in the retelling of the story, which is going to be
okay,
totally ignored. Okay.
okay.
I just wrote we are back in business. This is where the show
We
goes
are
get
not back
it
in
was getting
business.
good again. It was getting good. No, it was getting good because
Okay.
he was saying the stuff and I was like, okay, he's saying some nice stuff about Minsel. But then I was like, oh, Sion's not gonna like this. And I was like, she's gonna bail on him even though she probably doesn't need to, and this is perfect for what I want to happen. I was like,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
the window is opening.
Mm-hmm.
We're heading back into interesting TV show territory. So this was giving me hope. All right.
Okay.
Um actually, yeah, I did write down, I think Junseo very unnecessarily explains how he was thinking about Minseo so much. I think he went
Mm.
above and beyond on this explanation, which also was like, okay, at least he has actually been thinking about it. Like that, you wouldn't be
Mm.
saying what he said unless he was actually thinking about Minsole. Now, if was he ever really seriously thinking about Minsole as like a romantic partner? I'm not sure, but he is thinking
Yeah.
about her clearly.
It does seem to be heavily guilt based just because she hasn't gone with anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, right? If you're really trying to see the TV show from everybody's perspective, you might like kind of feel bad that like you've been like the only date for somebody, so they're like picking
Mm.
you. They're like picking you, but you're not gonna pick them back. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's good self awareness, or not self awareness, but like insight, good insight checks
Mm.
on people. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, Sheehan asks him if he's gonna talk to Minsol more, and he's just like, well, I don't know, which seems like it would be a pretty unsatisfied answer for her to hear.
Well, yeah. Well, she asks it. The way I wrote it down, she asks is that she wants to know if Jinseo is going to do more than just think about Minsol, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
says, honestly, I don't know. And then Sia does not seem happy about that, even though it's
Yeah,
the exact truth, probably.
yeah, but if anything, that is the best indicator here right now that maybe he's not completely set on Cheon, right? Because if he was, then he
I
would
hope
know.
so. That's what I was hoping for.
Then he would be like, no, I don't need to anymore. But
Yeah.
here we
And I wrote my notes, oh, so this is why she's going to pick Theo.
are. No, if only.
Ugh. All right. Yeah, then we get in this whole thing where like Sion is telling Jinseo he's being cold to her.
He is speaking in that very casual way that she doesn't like.
Yeah. I I I, I mean I don't know Korean. I don't know the language structure and if what he's doing is really egregious, but I feel like I just get the sense that he pretty consistently talks to everybody like this. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like he's trying to do anything. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, regardless of if he's trying to do something or not, it's not how she likes to be talked to by the person she's on a date with. And so, not saying he's wrong for doing that, but I mean, it is a pretty good indicator that they ought not date then.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. That's like these two don't seem like a match.
Yeah, like I was getting huge vibes of these people just think each other are hot and are just wildly incompatible, you know? There's nothing of substance there other than they just think each other's hot, you know?
That could be it. I don't. Yeah. Do we have like a concrete explanation of why Sion likes Jinseo?
Um
I don't know if we've ever even seen that
because
really.
sometimes he'll say something direct and she likes, like, I guess because she helped him with her feelings of like being confused and was just like, it's okay, you can just tell me the truth, and let her talk out all her feelings, and then suddenly there you go.
Okay.
Also, he was hot and right in front of her, which
Yeah.
seems
See,
to be
well,
a big component.
but your answer to the question was nothing to do with being hot to start, right? So
Well, that's because I
there's
was
something more.
trying. I
It's
was
something
trying.
more here. I think there's more than what, or I think they're seeing more in each other than just they're hot. Now, are they accurately seeing who the other person is underneath? I don't know if that's true. Like I still am kind of confused why Junseo likes Xian so much, but he's at least told us like it's something about her demeanor or I forget what the words he used in the last episode, but they're saying things other than just like they're hot.
But don't those things kind of just mean hot?
Yeah. I also think like age proximity might be a thing here. I don't know. It's at some point we do have to question. It's either they're bad at like reading each other or they're not emphasizing what's actually important to them.
Well, I mean, she is at least, well, maybe not in confessionals, but like at least in the moment talking to him, she is saying what is important to her, which is that she wants him to talk nicer to her. So like as much as we are talking shit on Cheon about not deciding or whatever, she is at least making it clear what she's not liking, you know? She will like waffle on it the moment he does a cute joke or whatever, but
yeah, I get it, but it's their second date. I don't know. It's like if they can't keep it together on their second date, Sarah, what are we rooting for here?
Yeah, nothing. Like honestly, like for most of this date, at least how it's edited, like he's not even like flirting with her at all. Like so while he might be just speaking how he always speaks, there certainly doesn't seem like he's putting an effort into putting a vibe in for most of it.
They flirt at the end of dinner when he does a silly thing and it makes her laugh.
Yeah.
With the bag, yeah. There's something.
But the rest of the time looked like it was an awful time where nobody was flirting with anybody.
Yeah, I think neither of them were bringing anything to this.
Yeah.
To this date at all, pretty much. And then again, it's their second date. Like they can't even appear to like I don't know. Maybe it's the editor's fault. Like they can't even appear to be having a good time with each other on their second date.
Like
this should not be a thing.
So comfortable to be boring on your second date. Like it should be like exciting and fun if there's a vibe, you know?
Yeah, I understand they're tired. I get that.
But like, be tired at each other. But then you can
be tired. Yeah, like you can be tired and just I don't know. If they didn't do I would be less confused. I would be less confused if Xian was still okay. Theo, if Theo was still ahead of Jongsu, I'd be way less confused. I'd be like, okay, fine, you know.
Or if by the end of this date she was like, "Fuck it, it's Theo and Jongsu," you know, then I'd be like, okay, sure, that makes sense to me. That would
that wouldn't make
sense.
Because
then the story of this night is her realizing how important like having somebody who says the cute things and treats her a certain way is to her, regardless of whatever else she's seen in this guy. This other thing is very important to her, and he's not offering it, but these other two guys are. That would make sense to me storyline wise.
I think Junseo is doing that too, but they're just highlighting the scenes where she's like, "I don't like the way you talk to me."
Yeah, but she doesn't have to say that to the other two.
Oh yeah. But okay, we're not putting Jongsu ahead of Junseo on any list. No way. I'm not.
No. Like I'm not saying like I'm not saying like he's a good pick objectively over Junseo. I'm saying that it would make sense if she decided to pick Jungsu over Junseo.
I do actually believe I had this thought while watching. I actually do believe that Xian would want. It seems like she would want somebody that lies to her more than somebody that like tells her the truth but says it in a way that she doesn't like. You know?
Yeah, she wants the pretty lies.
Yeah, and, I think that's actually true.
You say the sweet words that okay, I agree.
I buy what you're saying then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she brings up like being nicer again. I wasn't sure when she first brought up being nicer because in the context of it, there are times where he says like, "Hey," instead of like using her name, which seems to be the main thing.
Yeah.
But in the context she brings up nicer at some point, it's like right after he is like honest about Minsel or honest about something with her. And then, but she didn't like what he said. And then we get to see the part about her saying, just being nice in a way that it made it seem like, kind of like I just said, like, I don't like when I don't like when you share your honest feelings with me. Like, you should be nicer and not do that. But I don't know.
That felt more like an edit to me than
more of a. It's the only thing that applies on the show, right? Like, I mean, she asked the question, but like in real life, he wouldn't be dating anybody else. But in this show, it's like I don't know. She didn't seem to like that he shared his honest feelings about another woman, which isn't like a real life scenario that would happen. Right.
Well, there is another layer where like when she talks about how she's interested in multiple guys and she feels like a bad person about it. So maybe like her hearing somebody else be sounding interested in somebody else, but maybe not feeling guilty about it, makes her think that maybe he's a bad person, because he's okay with this thing that when she does it, she feels like a bad person.
Yeah, I guess so.
She doesn't. She never vocalizes that anywhere, but I don't know.
I would highlight. I think she has the wrong mentality. She's the one with the wrong mentality.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see why she might be turned off by somebody acting in a way.
Yeah, I guess
that she deems.
I guess that's consistent.
Inappropriate.
All right. Yeah. Also, I wanted to highlight that because we had this is before I wrote this in my notes before we got to the Jian explanation of Taehwan. But when we were talking about in the last episode, it was just like weird, or like we were talking about how Theo supposedly said to Sion like, "Oh, I want you to go date the other guys," and then realized that I'm the best choice. And then we get a conversation with Jian where she's like kind of giving that sentiment, except it's definitely a different context because we find out that
she's not vibing.
She was trying to do it to get out of the date potentially.
Yeah.
And she brought it up really awkwardly where she was like, "Who are you gonna pick for Paradise?" And he instantly was like, "You, of course." and then she was like, "But," whereas I would assume that Theo said it to Sion if he did that in like a context of like Sion is maybe expressed her confusion on what she might do, or they talked and then he was like, "It's fine. Don't feel bad if you want to go date somebody else." And then here is a perfect opportunity when Junsol is talking about Minsol for Sion to be like, "Oh, if you're interested in Minsol, you should go with her to Paradise next time and then come back and choose me." This was a perfect like natural way to bring up that conversation.
Yeah, but she doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, I don't think Sion has that mentality at all.
Yeah.
But this was we haven't seen the conversation, but like this was a type of conversation where it would make sense to say that.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't just be out of nowhere. Yeah. All right. So it's mostly bad vibes, but they are a little cute right at the end. Right at the end.
Yep. He does something silly with her clothes, and I wrote, "I guess we're back in it." Okay. Yep. And then they're holding hands in the back of a car when they go somewhere else. And they do have a mini moment here where she's like, "I like people who are expressive." And he's like, "I could count the number of times I've said I love you on one hand." Like,
is that what he said?
Not exactly that, but he was just like, I have not said it often in my life. He is much more my actions will tell you how I feel, not my words. And she's like, "I need the words, dude." And so it's just like,
yeah, but when he says it, that shit's gonna hit heavy though.
Yeah, but
like, holy shit, he said
then that must sustain her for the next 30 years or whatever, because it's the only time it's happening.
Oh, you took it as like, oh, I just don't say it. But like, if he was in a real like lifelong relationship with somebody, he might say it all the time.
Yeah, I don't think situation. No, well, because he follows it up with, he thinks that like his action should be enough to express how he feels. He's not saying that he doesn't fall in love often. He's just saying that he doesn't say it, he shows it. And if that's not how she responds to things, then that's, it's just not going to work.
I agree. It is another good indicator that they're not compatible. Fuck these two.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not even fun to watch this time around. Last time, a little bit. This time, not at all.
Yeah, Junsol, trying to figure this out, why this is even happening. Junsol asks her about like her mellow vibes in the last date at the beginning, I'm guessing is what he's talking about.
Okay.
And I feel like it was a way to like initiate the like, have you thought about it more? Are you less confused now? I don't know. Even though she said she's less confused, I don't know if Junsol fully knows.
Yeah.
If it means it's him, right? Because she didn't have to pick him again.
Right. He's got no real indication of that.
Yeah. And I certainly thought it was Theo. So I wouldn't be surprised if he thought it was Theo.
Yeah. Truly, he's never expressed concern about Jongsu being the guy, right? He's always ever been worried it was Theo.
Yeah, that is weird, right? Like they didn't show us a conversation between Junsol and Jongsu where he was like, "Just so you know, I've decided
I'm going for her."
I've decided exactly. I'm going to be at Sion. So it could have happened. I don't know why. I don't know why we got the Theo one if the Theo thing wasn't going to matter. Now maybe the Theo thing still matters. Maybe it would kind of make sense to me if Theo is still available somehow, some way. But because the edit is just so weird, they didn't have to show us that. They didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, then, like, so Theo in and of himself is an interesting character to put on TV, right? Like, he's over the top with how he expresses himself. It just so happens that he fell for the girl that it would not, he'd never see again for the rest of the time, right? So it's like, feels like a waste if they don't put that stuff in, I guess. It might be where it came from an editing perspective, like you want to include him in, but ultimately it didn't go anywhere, so he couldn't.
Yeah, I just think a normal like reality TV edit, right? We have to talk about edit for this to be interesting.
Yeah.
A normal reality TV edit, you definitely, there's two things about that conversation that were weird. Is that Jun-Saw is essentially telling us who he's decided to pick at the end of the show, which is something you don't normally show, right? Especially if it's a main character. Right. And then on top of that, theoretically, it's interesting to show that conversation because those are the two main choices of the other main character, which is Sion. So it's like, okay, there's like a rivalry thing, and we're just gonna put pen to paper and be like, we're officially in a rivalry or something. Yeah. And that's like, okay, it's interesting scene from that perspective. But then they're just gonna show us a scene an episode later, or 2 episodes, whatever it is, of Theo just getting straight up dumped on the TV show. And now, if everything we're seeing is what it's going to end up being, now they've shown us a scene where Jun-Saw has decided who he's going to pick. No mystery, if it ends up being true. And we've seen Theo now be rejected by the girl that.
Yes.
So there's nothing. There's no mystery at all.
I mean, there's still a mystery in terms of who she's going to pick.
Yeah, she could pick Jong-Soo, which is crazy, but
I think she might. Like,
there could have been way more intrigue if they just leave out these scenes. And theoretically, the show is better, right?
Depending on how she acts the rest of the time, and if Theo just looks totally bummed always. But also, like, counterpoint, the bro rivalry scene feeds into the breakup scene being a little bit more shocking or interesting in that way. Like they set it up like he was going to be contending till the end, and then abruptly, suddenly, oh no! Like, it makes you more invested in that potential thing that is now broken off.
Yeah, if this podcast, we were talking about the finale of Singles Inferno 4, I'd be like, all right, that was the end of the story. We got there. But we have 2 episodes left. That was not the climactic ending of the season, and yet it seems so over. And then on top of that, we see the Jun-Saw is going to dump the other girl that he might have been interested in, whatever small percent chance it was. And now we're even further into the show is just like, here is what is going to happen. And it's so suspicious that I just have to leave out some hope that I think the Jun-Saw Min-Sol thing is dead, but for some reason it just feels like it can't not be the end of the Theo story.
Yeah.
I don't know why we started talking about this, but we jumped way ahead. But
yeah, we did.
It's the main thing to talk about. But,
yeah, exactly.
All right. We were talking about Jun-Saw and Sion. I don't know where we were.
I mean, we're basically at the point where they end up on an awkward double date, right?
The long story short is I'm fucking confused. I just, to me, Sion, if you want to talk about, she's not like really a villain in that she's not lying, but in terms of,
but she's your personal villain for
in terms of the person I'm like rooting against, and I don't even know how she could lose. She can't lose, right? She can't actually lose the show. Like whoever she gets to pick, but
I mean, she could lose in that she goes home with Jong-Soo and then she has to see Jong-Soo again. But
yeah, I guess there's no way to really root against her. But if I could root against her in any way, I would. It has nothing to do with the bedtime situations. It's just she's telling me, hey, this is what I like, and I'm like, great. There's a guy here that seems like he's perfect for you, and then that's the first guy she takes off the list.
It's not, the heart wants what it wants, and sometimes it's not the checklist of things that you thought you wanted. People can meet all the check boxes that, your laundry list of things you want in a person, and it's still just not clicking right,
Okay. But there's a difference between that and choosing the exact opposite of the thing you said you liked. You know?
Okay, but he's hot. Okay, but he's
Okay, tell
hot.
tell me about Theo then. You tell me. Theo is shorter. Is Theo's height in play here? What do we give me? I want to know. I want to know.
I don't know.
Tell me
Is he
what happened
shorter?
here. Tell me the
I
truth. I think
have
he is.
zero memory for people's heights.
I think
I
he's
swear.
shorter. Is what I kind of picked
Okay.
up on. I don't know.
I don't know.
In the guy's game, he lost. I don't know. I guess I attributed it to his height, but maybe it wasn't.
Oh, that's just because Taehwan was kind
He
of
was
tall.
quite a bit Taehwan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what she likes.
But it's her job to tell me.
That's true. That's
tell
true.
Me. Okay.
Oh wait. What did she say in the very first episode that she wanted? She wanted a whirlwind romance. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. That's Jinsol. That's fine. It's Jinsol. I totally understand picking Jinsol. I think Jinsol's a very interesting guy. That's fine.
She wanted to meet someone with a strong inner self.
How is Jungsu ahead of Theo? There's nothing about what she's told us she's interested in that puts Jungsu ahead of Theo. And we know that man is lying. And we know that two women have seen through Jungsu and think he's full of shit. And she can't see it, or I don't know what's going on, you know?
Okay, but he's hot?
Okay. Who's
No, I'm also very frustrated.
Aren't
yes.
hot.
I know. That's the only thing I could come up with because yes, I agree with you. It is ridiculous.
She thought Theo was fucking hot when they actually went to paradise together. Or she swooned for him, or whatever the word was. You know, it's it's not about.
Yeah, but she be swooning all over the place. You know, she's a big swooner.
That's what I'm saying. It's just he got. Ugh. I'm rooting against her.
Oh wait, I forgot an aspect. But he's hot and also actively in front of her. That is an important thing. The main point.
Proximity is the sexiest quality.
Yes, it is. She 100% lacks object permanence when it comes to guys. Just they don't exist when she doesn't see them. They're gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no joke, really. Though proximity is like the
truly
sexiest quality in person, which is why
is a big part of it. Yeah.
That's the Dongho and Arin, you know? They got that proximity. But it's usually about like where you live, not just like physically who's in front of you at the moment. But it's just like proximity in terms of like who I can actually see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Not literally who's in front of me right now.
But when you're on Singles Inferno, it is literally who is right in front of you is who you can spend time with, you know?
Maybe Theo lives on the other side of the country. I don't know. Is that maybe there could be a perfectly reasonable explanation for this? That
I mean, well, it's true. He does want to be an actor.
He does want to go to the
States,
US,
right?
Yeah, that's
so that,
true. Okay,
that's rough.
That's fine.
That's rough. Maybe that's it.
Can she just say that to us?
She's being super practical about her future.
Can the producers put that in where she's like, he wants to move to LA. I don't think I want to do that. So I kind of just take
that
him
shit's
off the list.
Too practical for this show.
Even though I like him, I think he's a little bit better than these other guys. I'm just gonna take him off the list because it's not realistic. That would be really nice to hear. I would really appreciate.
That would be really nice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I literally learned my notes here. To me, it really feels like Sion's words indicate that she would be happier with someone like Theo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Someone who's more expressive.
Yep.
And seems blindly committed to her.
Yes.
It's literally Theo. Everything that she's showing me is Theo.
But he's just not right in front of her face.
It's not like I'm making this up. Like they didn't have a connection. Like she told us they had a connection.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a physical attractiveness missing here.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. This date's not even over. We have to get to the bar. Now, this is good.
At least it becomes an awkward double date. So this is way better. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a double date. The double date is great.
It's like, how does this quote unquote friends date with Yujin and Jungso seem like so much more fun than this real date between Xion and Junsu? Like, come on.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And well, in a way, right?
I mean, it makes sense given everything, but like you have to like if you are in this terrible date, you have to look at this other couple who are not even here like for a date and realize that you're doing something wrong, you know? Like you would have some self-awareness.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I I wouldn't be surprised if you put Jungsu and Yujin double date with anybody on the show, like Dongho and Arin. Like they're probably going to look like they're having more fun than Dongho and Arin too.
I guess also it just means people should be dating Yujin. Like just I guess.
I think there are things you could do with Yujin that would be fun. like playing pool. I have some good notes on Yujin playing pool. I'm in. I'd play
Uh-huh.
pool with
Uh-huh.
Yujin. Still not vibing with her. I don't remember on
Okay.
a. I can get why no one has vibed romantically with her because I
All
have
right.
not. So yeah, they're gonna do a double date here. Now, Sarah, are you upset? Are you upset about this?
I mean, this
Because
is a extremely overt move from production. Why isn't it a triple date? Like, come on. Add some
because
awkward.
what like I was saying in last episode, the other two people don't matter to the situation. They don't. It doesn't. There's no rules. Actually, I thought about this. I thought about this in the last podcast, and I forgot to bring it up. Was
Mm-hmm.
like in the U.S. at least, and probably
Yeah.
in a lot of countries on reality TV shows. Like I know in competitive reality TV shows, like there's actually like you have to make rules for your TV show, and then there's like a team of referees or whatever you want to call them that
Uh-huh.
actually like make sure you stick to the rules of the TV show because like it's like maybe back in the day when reality TV started, like there's like stories about how production manipulated things and then people got screwed out of money. So like now like reality TV has referees when there's rules
Uh-huh.
on a for a
Yeah,
competitive
yeah.
TV show that that is for winning money. Now on this show, I don't know if they need referees on this show. I feel like
Oh,
they
wait, wait,
really
wait.
don't.
Is it not competitive? Is it not ultimately for
Okay, but how do you
you
sue
could look at
somebody?
it a couple different ways because okay, being on the show and being prevalent and being a main character helps your theoretical career if you're in said industry. And are you
You can't referee
implying
the
that
edit. They're not refereeing the edit. That's not a thing.
okay, but we're talking about rules in terms of like getting to go on dates equals more airtime regardless of the edit, right? Like that's a better opportunity for airtime.
You can have a date and just not put in the edit.
I'm about to be real corny, man. Are
Okay.
you not are you saying then that like a prize of money is more important than your theoretical prize of love on this competition dating show? Like
I'm not gonna say it's more important. What I will say is good luck taking the singles Inferno to court and being like, I missed out on the love of my life because of what they did on this TV show, and see if you win in the court of law
I mean,
with
I
that
would watch that
argument.
trial. That would be great.
Yeah, but you're not winning that case. There's no way there's like laws in place that would defend
Okay,
or
let
like, you know.
me
But
be clear about
when they if
something though.
somebody
Like,
screws you out of money,
mm-hmm.
that like they change the rules of their show as you understand it when you signed up and there's money on the line, then that's something you can monetarily be like they screwed me out of this money. So yeah, I don't think they need referees on the show. Is all I'm saying.
I am not like begging for some hard and fast rules on this show or whatever. I'm just saying that people are gonna feel slighted and it's gonna feel unfair to them, and
So do you feel
they're
bad
gonna.
for?
I'm not saying even that I feel bad about it. I'm saying that people will feel bad. People on the show will not get the same opportunities that other people do, and they will feel a certain way about it.
I don't care. If Gian and Taewon want to be like, why didn't we get to go to the bar with them? You know, who cares? It's because you weren't
Okay.
important to the story, guys.
Okay.
You weren't. You know who is? Junso. I mean Jongsu. Jongsu is important to the story. So what do? They bent the rules, right?
Yeah,
They
but if
thought
you
they were
keep
competing just
doing
for
that,
one-on-one
you're
dates,
going to
and now they're bending the rules and they're making it a group
incentivize a
date.
certain type of behavior that is overall
No,
going to
it's the
make
same.
things worse.
It's the same.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but this is great. They should be doing this. Theo should be here too. I don't care. I don't care. Theo should be here too.
Okay.
Um,
Then it's just going to be more people clinging to the quote unquote popular person. And it's, not
no.
going to make for
They only get it. It only works if the like
popular person is
Sion
also into them.
Sion has to
Yes.
tell production that I am choosing like this person is still an option for me. Now maybe she said at this point she's like, oh, I don't actually care about Theo anymore, and they're like, okay, we don't have to break the rules for Theo then. You know, maybe that happened. I don't know, but
I'm still saying it incentivizes bad behavior because even
no, not any more than
though she has
what already
to.
does.
No, I think it definitely does more than it already does. But okay, we're just going to argue in circles about it. So let's talk about this awkward double date already.
I mean, if you're already going against how you actually feel in order to be more a part of the TV show or whatever it's trying to doing,
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not production is breaking the rules isn't going to change that mindset going into the TV show. It's the same.
I just think you're going to get more people with that mindset going into the TV show if the TV show has proven that that's how they put people in situations or edit things together, you know?
I do not, but okay.
Okay.
Okay. When they come in, when Jongsu and Yujin arrive, and then now they're like, "Oh, it's a double date. Cool." Jungsu, Junseo goes over to Jongsu and is like, "I thought I was gonna die from awkwardness."
Yeah, that's a great sign on your date. Yeah.
At first, I was like, "Okay, maybe the context of what he's saying is not pointed at Sion," but then Jongsu is like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, because I thought like maybe he was like talking like, okay, maybe he's saying it's awkward that they're both there, but then Jungsu, I don't know, maybe it still could be that. I don't know.
Or maybe
it really sounded like he was
it
talking about
doesn't.
him and Sion.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I think he was talking about. Unless like because they look surprised that people show up, right? So it's not like he was told they were about to have a double date and he thought it was going to be with somebody else. Maybe he thought Theo was going to know because there's no reason to think that Theo's going to show up. He wasn't on a date. So yeah.
It added to the story that the awkwardness was legitimate between Sion
Yeah, yeah.
Junseo. All right, so they're eating together, and this is where we get the Jongsu refers to Yujin as my Oompa Loompa.
Yes.
Didn't know what that meant. And then
just his goofy sidekick, I guess.
And then even though Jungsu and Yujin are on a friend date, it looks like they're having a real connection when they're not. Mm-hmm. Right? They're just having fun. And the other two, who are supposedly having a real connection, don't look like they are at all.
Yeah.
Which I thought this was a pretty amazing scene, honestly. But I don't. It seemed like an accurate representation of what's happening, and the contrast was pretty good.
Yeah, I love Yujin asking how their second date was going and getting a super awkward response.
I read that at this point, like they're trying to sell us that Sion is getting jealous watching Jungsu and Yujin.
Yes,
but it was mostly just like going to her for quick facial reactions, which is usually my thing of like, okay, is this real? But then Jungsu's gonna be ahead of Theo, so maybe that is right. I don't know. Yeah, and then later she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm having feelings for Jungsu again because he was in front of me and I saw him, and he was there when I was there." Okay, then they're gonna play billiards. Best part of the episode is billiards.
Is Yujin a pool shark? Because she's just like, "Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing," and then she's like, "I don't know." They at least barely won. Portray it as though she's. That's true.
They barely won, but they were way ahead at some point. I don't know how they caught up. But it definitely wasn't Sion who got them caught up. That's for sure. Okay, I said okay. I like Yujin more after watching her play billiards.
Yeah, I like the she's a pool shark storyline I've built up for myself. It is fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just like that she takes it seriously, but in a way that's fun, right?
Yeah.
Where Sion was doing the thing that I don't find
she's
attractive,
too cool
where
for
it's
it.
like, yeah. I mean, I get in this situation that it's weird, where like I don't know if the show wanted them to play billiards or. Usually it would just be like, oh, the boyfriend is like, oh, let's play, and then she'll be like, for whatever reason, I don't know why you would hate it, but maybe she just hates billiards and she's just like, ugh, like just trying to get it over with. Like the attitude of like, oh, I just want to get this over with as fast as possible. Yeah, who knows?
Maybe she also just wants to get this awkward double date over as fast as possible too.
Yeah, and I understand they're tired. Them being tired is probably like the major factor of everything that happened on this date, but. It's still not a good sign.
And them being wildly incompatible.
Yeah. I think even two tired people on a second date could push through and make it not awkward, at least, you know. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so then Yujin and Jungsu are like super cute playing pool together. That was great.
Yeah.
Yujin says to Jungsu, "I'm pretty good at physical activities, if you know what I'm saying."
If you know what I'm saying. Yep. It was excellent.
Followed by, "I have a delicate touch," if you know what I'm saying. And then she leans in and whispers in Jungsu's ear, "A dance major's delicate touch," if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, no joke. Yujin being sexy as hell right now.
Yeah, right? Yujin's great.
Yeah, a sexy Oompa Loompa.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. What a scene. All right. All right. Great decision, double date. I'm all for it. There's no real rules on the show. Continue with this.
Okay. Yeah.
This trajectory. This is good for the show. They didn't go far enough, Sarah. They didn't go far enough.
What would far
That's
enough
my
be?
only
Oh,
notes.
just Theo showing up. Okay,
Theo's here too. Who cares?
How awkward would just Theo fifth wheeling a double date? Like, oh, it would have been so weird.
Who gives a shit? Because then Eugen would be there too, and like Eugen and Theo kind of have like a playful rapport too. She'd be getting mad Jill.
It's true.
Of both, like everything Eugen was doing, she'd just be Jill. It would have been awesome. It would have been so good. We were denied. All right.
Taehwan
and
Jiyeon?
Taehwan and Jiyeon. They swim.
Well, she swims.
Jiyeon swims. Jiyeon's looking hella cute swimming in the water.
Absolutely.
Taehwan, no interest in going in the water with Jiyeon.
Nope.
Dude, come on, man.
I feel so vindicated by this whole scene. I mean, it truly made me happy.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this is exaggerated from Jiyeon's perspective, but
oh, even just the words that he said that we saw, I was like, yep, I feel totally fine about all the bad things I felt about him.
What did he say?
Like, she asked him about his dream, and he's, all about trying to build this house music culture or whatever, but like basically he wants to be recognized and respected by everybody in this culture that he's building. Like, it's very on brand for a spoiled little prince, I gotta say. It's just like seems very self-important and in a way that confirms all my random biases I've had towards this man the whole time.
Yeah, I guess the wanting the recognition part is a little extra.
Yeah, because it's totally different if you're like, yeah, I want to build a culture and bring the stuff to people to make them happy and, build a real community. It's not about that. He wants a bunch of people to really think he's awesome. Well, I do not think he's awesome. So,
yeah,
there you go.
I thought what I wrote down, he did say that stuff, though. I agree with you. But he also said like some profound stuff about how like Korean people aren't always given the opportunity to discover what they truly like. And he wants to be someone who changes the culture and gives people more of an opportunity to discover themselves.
So then they can thank him for how cool he was for bringing this to them.
If it was just that, I'd be like, oh,
that'd be different.
Good.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty good. But yeah, he did kind of have a tone of like, and then I want them to give me the credit.
Yeah. Spoiled little prince boy. Absolutely.
But then we cut to Jiyeon in confessional though, and this is where she starts telling us like, Taehwan doesn't really ask me questions about myself. And then again, I feel like we don't get a really fair. I don't know how you would edit it to really just.
I mean, they did show him just talking a lot about himself.
They just show him talk, but they show him answering a question. But him answering a question isn't like him not asking questions. But it's hard to perceive by somebody not asking questions.
But he's also not picking up on her just going, yeah,
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
He's monologuing the shit out of this. But again, she didn't want to be here
to begin with. Yeah. I just thought it was weird because then eventually they do show him in another scene, and I couldn't tell if it was from later in this date or if it was like on the previous date, but they show him actually asking her about her dreams.
Oh yeah, that was from the previous date.
It's not like we never saw him ask her questions. It was weird that they put that in right after Jiyeon told us he never asked me questions.
Well, it is because she wanted to bring up the contrast of her dream versus his shitty dream, and how her dream was more wholesome, I guess. But like they do show him also her being like, hey, do you want to know anything about me? And he's like, I'll ask if I think about it. Like, he's just not even taking a hint that like you're supposed to ask people about them when you're in a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think like that answer in and of itself, I didn't think was bad. Like, how long of a conversation had they had? How many questions did they ask each other? And then he was trying to come up with another question. And then he was like, you know what? I'll ask. I can't think of one right now, but I'll ask you when I do.
Okay, but why are you trying so hard not to believe this woman, though?
I don't know. It was just twice that they kind of like showed this edit where like it didn't feel like it lined up with what she was saying. I would believe her. If they just didn't show me anything, I would believe her. But then they actually showed him like asking a question, and so I was confused. Yeah,
but the rest of the time they show him just like monologuing and like specifically being like, no, I do not want to ask you anything. Like, I think they showed the context of what she was talking about.
Right. I thought it was a little weird, but hey, don't like Taehwan, I'm in. That's fine with me. Fuck him. I was almost thinking like she was like putting it too nicely on why she doesn't like him. Like it feels like there should be maybe more reasons or a more harsh way of saying why she doesn't like him than like, oh, he just doesn't ask me questions.
Well, she's like, he's not like she's painting a story about how he's pretty self-absorbed and she can't tell if he's actually interested in her. And I mean, maybe she's just not the kind of person to really harshly shit on someone that badly,
Maybe. I mean, I think he's definitely interested in her, but just not the way that she wants somebody to be interested in her. Her dream ends up being that she wants to be a kind wife and reliable mother for her family.
Yeah, but then when like she asked him about his personal dreams, he's just like, yeah, I just want to spend my life with the culture that I build. And
Oh
then
yeah,
like
the contrast in what they said was pretty good.
not only that, but then I went back to my notes to remember what his intro package said, and this man said he's given up countless career opportunities and prioritized love over work throughout his life, and that's the exact opposite of what this
Well,
man
he's
just
done
said.
with that now, Sarah. It's new Taehwan. He prioritizes
New
work
Taewon
before life.
sucks more. Yep, okay, sure. This man's
Only if you're
terrible.
trying to be in a relationship with him.
I just want to say I was right from the beginning, and I was right to not like him because he's a DJ. I feel vindicated. I
Okay,
take back
yeah,
any
for
time
sure.
that I said the
All right,
opposite.
just double down on the DJ thing. Go ahead.
I since realized that I actually know two DJs, and they're both really kind. But they are not primary DJs. That is their side situation. Their not main job is DJ. Whatever. Taewon sucks. I'm out.
No, he sucks. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's a DJ, though. I'll say that.
Okay, he doesn't suck because he's a DJ, but he is a DJ who sucks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I feel fine about all my life decisions right now.
I know a lot of computer programmers who suck, Sarah. That's all I know. I know
Yeah,
way
that's
more
true.
computer programmers that suck than DJs that suck.
All right. Fair. I still feel vindicated. This is great. Let's go. I'm also happy that she's not interested in him. It's great. This is all working out.
That is good. Okay, this is what I think the Jian. Okay, this is my best guess at what, because I feel like this Jian edit is very unique
Okay.
in that like they made it seem like it was a thing, and then it's just not going to be a thing, but not because there's like a third person involved at all. It's just like, oh,
because he sucks so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually is a good point. But no, but this no, this will get this is the probably this prediction is probably for you the best thing that would ever have happened on this show if it does come true.
Okay.
Which is I think Taehwan it looks in the previews like they're gonna go back to the
choose
old
herself.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck
They're gonna,
yes. This is what I've been waiting for seasons. I don't know why I didn't realize it before this moment. Yes.
Yeah, I think, but that's why this edit is so weird. It's because I think that's where we're going. I think they're going back to the old format where it's only the women are going to be like spread out
Make
on
the final
island, and then the
choice,
men choose the woman, and then the woman makes the final choice. And we've never seen the person that gets somebody to choose them walk away.
Just walk the fuck
and be
away.
Like, nah. And I think Jian is going to be our first person to ever do that.
I knew there was a reason I liked her from the beginning.
I'm
so pumped.
If she doesn't,
I'm gonna be sad.
If she doesn't, I'm gonna be very confused on why we had to see like any of this edit at all.
It's because even if she leaves with him to be nice, we'll know deep down inside she is not about this bullshit man and is not actually gonna date him. Yeah.
Yeah, what a fun story. What a fun story to tell.
Yeah, that is a weird edit.
It's a fun story to tell when she doesn't pick him, but
this story now.
is.
They have been doing a weird edit the whole season though, so it's hard to really bank on it.
I think it's a great edit if she doesn't pick him at the end. That would be great. The way I wrote it down is like Jian doesn't feel like Taehwan, but the main thing was Jian doesn't feel like Taehwan cares for her in the way that she would expect a boyfriend or husband to. And I was like, I think that was pretty clearly depicted. Or I buy that sentence. I buy way more than like the specific details that they tried to highlight in the clips. But yeah, I told it that seems so right. All right, this honestly this should be your favorite season, Sarah, right? If that happens,
we'll see.
We'll see how it ends. Who cares about the other stuff?
100%, 100%. Jian will save everything
this
for
very
me.
minor side plot makes it the best season for Sarah. Yeah, I'm here for it too. It's not gonna make the season the best season in singles part in history, but it's good. It's gonna be a good moment.
Yeah.
All right. Still have to do Inferno night. Okay. It's gonna be a long podcast for no reason. Okay.
Because we got all been out
so much
of shape
to complain
about.
There's so much to complain about, honestly. That's why. That's why it's gonna be so long. Okay. All right. All the leftover people are talking back at Inferno.
Minsel's still salty as hell. Yeah.
Who's salty?
Minsel, salty.
Oh, Minsel.
All night long.
Yeah. I feel like she's enjoying talking about it though. I don't know. It doesn't seem so
Oh yeah.
like personal. It's just like this is the one thing going on in my life. Talk about it.
Well, not in her like on the show. Like there's
The
probably
life is
nothing.
the show is her
Everything's
life.
boring. Yeah, exactly.
This show is everybody's life
She's
right
got
now.
a thing to talk about now. Yeah.
Oh, but Hyejin admits to everyone that she thinks about Jung Hoon.
Oh yeah, this is great. She says it right in front of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great.
And she's like, I picked him today and I'm gonna keep picking him. And he's like, this is good. I didn't know this. Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know enough about them to really like root for it, unfortunately. But it feels like why not? Why wouldn't they just pick each other end?
Exactly.
But they do frame it in like Hyejin like takes the blame for like not being expressive enough to him.
Uh-huh.
She has a good attitude about it where like she's not upset with him that he picked Sion over her. Like it was Sion and Hyejin that went with him, right?
Yes.
When he picked yeah, okay. But then he picked Sion over her in the guys pick in the matching.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. She picked Jong Hoon, but I don't know if we really saw anything building up to that, right? So it actually feels like maybe that was a last second choice, or she just didn't talk to Jong Hoon for whatever reason. And then the way it's edited is like Jong Hoon immediately stands up and it's like, I should go talk to Hyejin now.
Yeah.
So it also felt like it wasn't like he wasn't interested in her, but
he just didn't realize it was an option, you know?
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. This might be a thing. I don't think they were like then we go see them talk, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they were like,
I love it because she's like, just be honest, don't be like Jongsu. Yeah. Immediately throw someone under the bus. I love it.
It's a really low bar. If we're just trying to be better than Jongsu, like every guy's a fucking like whoever the best. I don't even know what the example is, but yeah, it's a very low bar.
It's a low bar, but I like that she says it. Yeah.
Yeah, any dig at Jongsu, I guess, is good. But does she actually mention Jongsu specifically, or is she just says
100%? She's like, don't be like.
Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah, she's just don't be like Jongsu. Like literally, yes.
Okay, that's pretty funny actually.
And I do like he like called out like specific things about her outfit earlier this day and the day before, so it's like he has been paying attention to her a little bit. So I like that.
Yeah, but like that's his thing though. We like already pegged him, right? Like he's like just really good at that.
That's right. I forgot. He hasn't been on screen for so long. I forgot.
He's like he could probably I wouldn't be surprised if he could do that with every single girl, you know? Like
so he's very
really
observant. That's a good quality.
He's really observant. Yeah. It's a superpower and he can use it and leverage it and manipulate it however he wants.
Okay, well now you've made me less pumped about it. Okay, not that I was super pumped.
You're super pumped about it? Yeah, I mean,
not really.
They're not going to go to Paradise, so we're not going to see it. Why not? Just send these two to Paradise. Who cares? Right? Come on. Who cares? Who cares that Hyejin's not going to win the game? Go to Paradise. Show us 30 seconds of them in a tub or a swimming.
That's probably
scene.
an expensive 30 seconds, you know?
It probably is. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, a swimming scene with Hyejin and Jong-hoon.
Hey, they have a pool on Inferno. Let them go in the pool.
That's true.
They could be cute on the pool in Inferno.
Pool, though.
That's okay. They could make it sexy. They got the right, chemistry. You can make anywhere sexy.
Should there be like an Inferno makeover episode where they like make it hella nice?
No. They should make it worse. They should put the pool next to a dumpster and make it terrible. And you just really have to have enough chemistry to overcome the environment.
The people on the show won't overcome the environment, Sarah. That's not a good strategy.
I can hope.
Okay.
Hey, Theo could. If he had anybody to match his energy,
Theo could.
It would be great.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Totally could.
Theo's going to hang out next to a dumpster for love. I'm not sure about it, actually.
If anybody on this show was going to, Theo would hang out next to a dumpster for love.
Maybe.
Or at least to be on this TV show.
I will say it is refreshing to see people like someone on the show, then realize, wait, I don't like them. And then they actually try to pivot to someone else, and it works. That would be great. If we see that, that's great. If we get that, if all the side kind of stories work out and it's like, oh, okay, that was kind of nice.
And it's okay that the main story was a disaster. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's okay, but it's a way I can, be like,
softens the blow.
It was worth forcing myself to finish the season.
Are we at a point where you feel like you're forcing yourself to watch it? I'm still having ease watching it. Yeah.
I I would be at the point if this was like just me casually watching a show.
Uh-huh.
I would be at the point probably where I could probably just wait till it comes out and then just kind of spoil the ending, and then it depending on the end, if they just told me that everything at the end of episode 10 ended up being the result in episode 12 and I looked it up, I'd be like, okay, I don't have to watch it. It was just what they told me it was at the end of episode 10, you know? Other than the Sion stuff, like who's Sion going to choose between Jinsal and Jongsu? I'm not really invested at this point because Jongsu, I don't want him to match with anybody. And I know that Jinsal and Sion are terrible for each other. At least that's the story I'm getting. And then I'm just not buying the Dongho stuff. So it's like, if I find out, hey, it didn't end the way they made it seem like it was going to end, I'd be curious to see how we got to that point. Okay. But that's where I'm at. But I'm watching it. We'll be here.
Yeah. Okay.
We're here for the side stories. I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on to the side stories. They agree, right? Hyejin and Jonghoon, they agree.
Yeah.
Let's go to paradise. She's not going to win the game, and they're not going to go to paradise.
Not going to win at all. No.
They could have just gone anyway, but it's fine. Yeah, I think that's my probably biggest complaint about the show, and it's like super highlighted in the season. Is just at some point production they should just be able to tell what needs to happen for the best TV outcome. And like these two people, Hyejin and Jonghoon, they got nothing going on, right? There's no mystery about what they're gonna do if one of them can win the game and get a choice, right? They're not, as far as we know, they're not deciding between two people. Like they've talked in a scene where they even decided to show it on the show where they're like, let's go to paradise together. Shouldn't that just be enough to win a paradise day on the show? Shouldn't it? If you just want to go to paradise with somebody and that person wants to go to paradise with you, shouldn't that just be you did enough to earn a paradise date at that point? Like, why not? Right?
Yeah, I guess.
I think all the mechanics early on in the show, they cause drama, they cause confusion for the audience, they cause, they make us have to speculate, and that's fun to do. But at some point you just get in the show where, if these two are going to be a thing at the end of the show, give me one paradise date to see their chemistry so I can at least decide if I'm here for it or if I'm not. I really just am very indifferent to if it's something I could root for or against. I don't know. I'm just like very indifferent to what happens to them because we're never going to see them. They're never going to learn like each other's age and occupation, like there's and on this show that's like important to people. So until I see them go through that process and I see how they act once they're allowed to talk openly, I don't really know what their chemistry is and if it's something that I'm rooting for or not. It's just two people that have nowhere to go but to each other, and it's not really that interesting. But it could have been interesting if they just said, "Hey, you guys look like you've earned a paradise date." That's all I need. There doesn't have to be rules and structures.
It's just chaos out here. Okay, sure.
It's not really chaos. It's production being good at recognizing what's going on their production while it's happening.
Don't you just get people going, oh, they just said they wanted to go to paradise with each other and they got to go. Okay. Hey, I want to go to paradise with you. You want to go to paradise with me too, right? Wink. And then, I don't know, you just...
Well, yeah, but it's up to production to be like, that didn't seem genuine at all. Right? And maybe production said, you know what? Nah, these two aren't interesting enough. They're not vibing that good. It's not going to be a big deal, even if they go to paradise. Maybe they made that read and were like, it's not worth it. Also, it's going to cost us more money.
So there's a chemistry threshold you must meet for production
to
be able to send you. Okay.
You got to convince production that
you
you're an actual thing that's going to be good TV.
If you can make it cute on Inferno next to the dumpster, you get to go on a date in paradise. I agree.
I'm here for that. I don't need the dumpster.
No, the dumpster is important for the threshold to be met. You have to be able to create the vibe yourself, regardless of your surroundings.
Okay.
Dumpster or nothing. That's the only way I will accept this.
All right. All right. Then we got Halen and Dongho are going to talk.
I feel like it's mostly Halen talks, though, right? Like She's just like, hey, I want to talk to you. They go away, and then she's like, hey, what's up?
Every time Halen and Dongho talk, it's what it is, right? Yeah. These two also not compatible, which is why I'm not buying it. Now, there's evidence on this very season that people will do the opposite of what it seems like they've told us they are interested in. I guess I couldn't tell you exactly what Dongho said he was looking for on the show or said he's interested in, but just from a personality standpoint, I just don't understand how these two
he
could
looks
be a thing.
A lot more comfortable with Arin. He seems to mostly not say a lot with Halen, but maybe we have a terrible read on what Koreans view as good chemistry. Maybe we're just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think I have a good view on what good chemistry is, and they're wrong. I'll say that.
Okay.
But...
Okay.
Like they are overvaluing things that I don't value. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But all right. Yeah, she just lets him know that she's gonna kidnap him next time to go to paradise.
She does say she will let him sleep in the main bed. I don't know if that implies with her or not.
That's nice. I like that. That's a good deal. Because this is the move that you say you hate, right? Where it's different because Dongho hasn't rejected her yet,
and she has
to us
openly asked, "Hey, does this make you uncomfortable? Tell me now, and I will not do anything more." And he went,
well, no, she didn't say it like that. She asked, and then it was like, she kind of asked, and then it was like, but I'm going to pick you even if you're not comfortable. Didn't she say
well,
that?
yeah, there is a difference between picking and having these kinds of conversations continually too. Like, she could still pick him, but not be like, hey, I'll let you sleep in the bed. Like, there was at least some kind of check-in,
I saw it as pretty much the same thing. But yeah, I don't mind. I really don't care that, I don't know, this is her TV show experience. Unless Dongho is like, do not choose me. I don't want to go to paradise with you, which she never says that we see.
Right.
Do what you want, Halen. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. She does phrase it as kidnapping, which shows some self-awareness of what she's doing. So
that's true.
That was funny phrasing, yeah. Yeah. I do appreciate that Helen is still having fun despite what seems like a very steep uphill climb.
Oh, yeah.
She's not like, I'm gonna pick you, whatever. Just like, I don't know, she's trying. And she sees kind of the ridiculousness of the situation, and she's still pushing forward, but she understands. It's good. It's good. I actually think Halen is pretty good. I've actually liked all her interactions with the guys. It's just how she talked to the women that made me not like her.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Maybe Halen can add a bit more drama. She is gonna win
trying
the game, and she's gonna pick Dongho, presumably. So maybe this will get a little more dramatic. I'm just not sold. I'm not sold yet.
Yeah.
All right. Are you gonna be mad if Dongho switches, Sarah?
Yes.
You are. Okay. You're invested enough to be upset if he switches. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I think he and Aaron are cute together. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think he's gonna switch, and even if he does, I don't really care. Like, it's not. I'm not really that invested in the Dongho decision either way.
I think like Dongho's my favorite guy on the show.
Yeah, but you'd actually be upset if he picks not Aaron.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, he made the bad decision.
Yeah. I don't really like Halen. I don't know. It's not my vibe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then Aaron is just stressing since she feels like Dongho has been talking to Halen more, or like multiple times today, and they haven't talked, I guess.
Yeah. She's like, what could they have to? Why do they have to talk again? They talked earlier. What's going on?
I'm guessing Halen is just initiating conversations more than Aaron is, though. Like, that seems like the Halen thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then there's like an awkward interaction where Halen and Dongho walk back, and Halen's like, I'm gonna go get some water. You do what you want. These are the moments where Halen's just like overly intentionally awkward. I don't know. And then Dongho is in this spot where he starts awkwardly like walking with Halen to get water, but then like turns around and sits down with everybody else and Aaron. Yeah. It was funny. In a way that was like, is it Dongho is just awkward, or was he actually conflicted in that moment?
Oh, I feel like Dongho is just awkward.
Because he did choose to break off and stay with Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he had stayed with Halen, it also wouldn't have been that dramatic, because it's like, okay, we haven't concluded our side chat because we're going to get water, and then we're going to sit down together or sit down with everybody. I don't know. All right, we get Arn and Dongho one-on-one though, and then I don't know. She just asked about Halen.
Yeah, she's definitely not jealous or curious or anything. It's fine. Yeah, but she just wants him to know she's still thinking about him. So
Dongho
okay.
says he was just listening to her. That seemed right.
Yeah, that felt like a good read on that whole
But
situation.
this conversation's also awkward too, though, because Dongho is like hella exhausted. He's had a long day. He's like literally yawning.
Yeah.
In this, so then they kind of just like make it quick, and then Aaron's just like, "Well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm still thinking about you," and then they like get up and go to bed. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. This feels like a lock to me. Maybe the show has under edited something that I'm missing, but
yeah, I do think they're gonna pick each other at the end.
they're just trying to sell me on something that's not there. But because the thing about this was like the hosts really sell that there's drama. Like, oh, I think he might be interested in Halen now. Which,
oh yeah,
that's like the biggest indicator of like, okay, they're trying to sell me something that's not there.
I don't know. Sometimes I always worry that it's just like sometimes the hosts have an entirely different read on a thing than I do, and it's not necessarily like a manipulation of the edit. It's just like, oh, this is a value that I didn't realize was at play or something. But I don't think that's what's happening here. Hopefully,
that happens sometimes too, but I feel like usually they show that edit when it's like the hosts are split and you're like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe this one host is like so adamant of what the opposite of what everybody else is thinking, but then they end up being right. I think they like to show that when like one host is right and the other ones are wrong. But this felt more like when everybody was saying, oh, for sure Jinseo's gonna pick Minsole, of course.
oh yeah,
Of course he's gonna pick Minsole. And this felt more like that, where it was like, yeah, Halen Dongho might actually Dongho and Halen could definitely be a thing. I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see. Like, it's not a foolproof read, but that's what it felt like this time. All right, and then we go back to Paradise for a Junseo and Sion.
Huzzah!
And yeah, let's see. Oh, this was actually a hilarious
cliffhanger.
I don't know if they know, like, when they edit these, like, oh, they're gonna be released on Netflix, and this isn't gonna, like, they're gonna release.
It isn't gonna be a week.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, can you imagine if this is where the episode, like, the end of the week episode? It's like,
yeah, that'd be
oh my
crazy.
gosh, Junseo just closed his eyes. Is he asleep? Yeah, that was so goofy. Yeah. Then you come back in episode 10 and it's like he opens his eyes and they talk a little more. I don't know. I feel like we talked about these two enough. Do we need to talk about anything? Is there anything specific 100%. Here? I have a lot of notes, but I feel like
they reiterate a lot of shit they've been talking about.
Yeah.
She wants him to be nicer. He doesn't like to express himself. These people don't belong together. Yeah.
Yeah, I said all this stuff that's in my notes. They're not a good match. If you can't keep it together on your second date,
then there shouldn't be a third. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. It would not be a good sign for me.
Yeah.
I know I like would not respond well to like somebody telling me, "Hey, I don't like this quality about you. Can you change it?" On a second date, especially. Yeah. Even on, that'd probably bother me deep into a relationship as well. Not that you should not that you can't work through things, but second date, hell no. There's no way we're at this point yet.
Yeah. There's no reason to be invested enough in this to be like, you must change for me. Yeah.
In my personality. This is our second date.
What you can do is say, oh, I prefer a person who is like this. That does not seem like that is who you are. So we should part ways. You can openly address the reason why you're not compatible, but you shouldn't expect anyone to change. Yeah.
Wait, there was a part in my notes at one point though. I don't know if I skipped over it or it's right here, but oh no, I think it's right here. Yeah, Junseo says, I don't think an ideal relationship is something you can will into existence, especially a romantic one. Sion then agrees, but also thinks they should work harder to find common ground.
That's some shit you say much deeper into things when, you're already committed. Yeah.
Meaning she wants Junseo to try to change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But maybe we could will this into existence if you changed Junseo. Yeah, so it's not really her just expressing like, oh, this is something I prefer in a relationship, throwing it out there just so we know that this could be a problem and we might not be compatible. It's like, I'm throwing this out there, and also like maybe you could change.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She is not doing it the appropriate way. Yeah.
I wrote in my notes, they're giving me hope, and I'm gonna take it at this point. He's done with Sion. He's done. Let's go, Minsol. We got this.
So silly.
No, I mean, it was totally reasonable to have hope in that moment, because he kind of said like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't force this. Right?
No, because he does say, I'll try harder.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's like, this is just how I am, but I
saw that
harder.
more as like okay, let's stop talking about this way of saying that, but okay. Yeah. Do they sleep in the same bed, Sarah?
Oh, yes, 100%.
Probably. We don't see it, but probably. All right. We're back to Inferno. Minsol is going to push forward on Junsaw. You know, she's not
still
pissed
salty.
off.
Yep.
She's still talking about it a lot, and we get like the women are like, oh, here she comes to talk about Junsaw again.
Oh, we do get a very funny practice conversation she has where Halen pretends to be Junsu. That was great, because Minsol was so serious about that.
Well, she was trying. Yeah, she was like practicing the phrasing of how to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was funny. I think Minsol's great, honestly. Now she's not in the show as much for me to see like the full scope of her personality.
Yeah.
But what I've gotten to see from Minsol is like, I don't know, that's probably my favorite woman in the history of the show. I don't know. Like I you know, I can't look back on previous seasons and been like, oh, there was a woman that I like never had a problem with or was vibing with them. You know, I don't know. I think Minsol, from what I've seen from Minsol, she's still who I would pick out of all of them. So
all right.
She seems fun. Mostly it's just scenes with her and Junsaw, and they have good vibes, which looks like Minsol has good vibes. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I think overall her attitude about the show, despite it being in a terrible situation, has been pretty good. I don't know if has she cried once?
No, I don't think so. Have we seen anybody other than Shion cry?
Ooh, yeah. That might point to that this cast is good.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think the listeners will be able to call us out on.
Oh yeah, probably.
Who cried.
But that's all. The only person I recall crying.
Yeah, that nobody memorably cried. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like people, you know, that they take the show seriously, but not too seriously. Also.
Yeah, but also like people are feeling things and they're gonna cry. Sure, fine. I don't mind.
Oh yeah, I don't mind it if it's genuine and feels somewhat grounded in like it's something worth crying about. Whereas like in Sion's crying about how her decision is so difficult, that's not the kind of crying that I'm gonna be like, oh, poor Minsol. I mean, poor Sion.
Yeah, fair.
Like it would make more sense to me if like I don't know if there's really a great example this season, but if like somebody really likes somebody, or if Sion was crying because she realized that Junsaw and her aren't compatible, and she was like invested, and now she's like upset that she was like couldn't see it earlier or something. I don't know, like something like that. It's like, okay, you were invested enough to cry when you realized you had to break up with this man. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, actually, Sion's gonna cry. Sion's gonna break up with Theo, and then she's the one crying. That's another thing I just have to throw that out there. Theo has to like console her. Be like, don't worry, it's okay. You broke up with me, but it's okay.
On one hand, like that sucks, but it also like, I don't know, I guess it's kind of nice that she at least felt bad about it from a Theo perspective, right? It's if it was easier for her to just break up with him, that might feel worse. I don't know.
Yeah, but isn't it like an unhealthy way to break up with somebody? But like, because then it like makes them feel like maybe there's still something, even though you're breaking up with me. But again, they've known each other for less than a week, so it's not really a real scenario. But like,
and
if you were in like a
not been in front of her for most of it, yeah.
Yeah. Like if Theo cried when he got broken up with, I would have felt bad for Theo. I mean, I feel bad for him. I don't feel that bad for him. But
feel a little bad for him.
Less than 1 week relationships, I don't feel that bad.
Okay.
Also, we don't want Theo to be with Sion, do we? Is that what we want for Theo? Yo, he's dodging a bullet. Come on. He's dodging a bullet.
I mean, I don't know. If he likes her, like, truly, like, okay, what's the bad behavior we've seen from her so far? She's indecisive. I'm indecisive. I get it.
I don't think she's, like, bad in the sense that, like, I don't think she's a bad person, but I do think she's not currently dateable.
Well, like, I don't think we've seen her with Theo in a way that makes me feel like she would be bad for him. Like, sure, she's got to like figure some shit out or whatever, and she has some bad taste in guys, but um,
It's bad in the sense like she doesn't know who she is. She's not gonna like I don't know. I don't think she's established like what she's looking for in a guy. I think
uh-huh,
there's plenty of evidence to support that on this TV show,
yeah.
and like there's just a good chance like she'll meet some other guy in a week and be like, maybe that's the kind of guy I want to date. I mean,
Well,
who
she has
cares?
specifically said that like this liking multiple guys thing is not a thing she's experienced out in the real world, and I kind of believe her, you know. So,
Just
and I
because she
think
hasn't
in
experienced it, one
choosing,
means she won't, right?
I guess, yeah. But I mean, the act of choosing Theo would be some indication that she's maybe become more um aware of
She's
what she
only
wants and
she's only choosing because the show is making her choose.
okay, yeah, but I'm saying like in the circumstance where she does choose Theo instead of Junsu, like it is a sign of her more becoming in line of like she's rejecting the hot guy that doesn't tell her the things she likes to hear. You know, that's her acknowledging what she wants and needs in a relationship and realizing that this mysterious hot guy is not gonna provide that for her. She's also rejecting the guy who will lie to her a lot but say the pretty things and, act cute in that way, and she's falling back on a guy who says a lot of over the top shit that I don't know if you can believe or not, but at least is not shown us any glaring big faults so far. So, that seems like growth. I don't think we're getting there, but I wouldn't say like I would be sad for Theo if, she did choose him in the end.
I mean, if hypothetically they chose each other and they were compatible and they were great, of course, like frame it that way. But I don't know. I feel like I've seen it. For me personally, I've seen enough from Sion where I do not think. I guess I'm speaking for myself personally.
Okay.
Regardless of like, I don't care about the being interested in other guys part of it. It's just like the trying to change Junsaw and stuff is like that's just one of the examples. But you know, there are things that she's doing where I don't think she's ready.
Okay.
All right, where are we?
Everybody comes home?
Also, also, uh, yeah. So they come back in the helicopter, but like production is definitely telling Jong Soo and Sion where to sit in the helicopter, right? Like, there's no way
Oh
this
yeah.
is the
Uh-huh.
natural formation
Mm-hmm.
of helicopter sitting. So there you go. And I like it. I like it. I'm here for it. I'm not complaining. This is what I'm talking about. More of this.
I love where he gets all jealous about her just like leaning on Junso's shoulder. Like, if they left together and then he watches the show and sees her get into bed with that man, how upset is he going to be? I think a lot.
Uh, yeah. Unfortunately, probably yeah. Although he was offered the same thing and just did not accept. So that's
Yeah.
on him. That's on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And who knows if he accepts, that's even closer proximity. And who knows how the rest of the season would have gone.
That's true.
She might have been locked in. Maybe she was just gonna lock in on whatever guy was the first one to accept the bed invitation.
No, well, you know what? She was locked in on him, and then he acted like kind of an ass at the campfire time, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
when she was out on
I
him.
mean, you don't have
So
to tell me what
truly,
Jongsu is.
well, yeah,
Jongsu is.
no, but truly, like he fucked it up, but just not by not going into her bed. It was he fucked it up later by like being like, oh no, other girls, whatever.
Oh, you think Jongsu was like ahead of Theo at that point in the
Yes,
season?
yes,
I don't really remember, but
100%, yes.
okay. All right. What even else happens? So I guess we got some
Oh, then
conversation.
we get Shion and Minsol comparing notes on Junso.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about this. Sure. I guess I have to talk about it because I set it up. So it's Xian, Hyelin, Minsol, and Jian. And they're like letting Xian know that Theo has looked down without her there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
That's what they did for Dongho, right? With the RM,
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they ask her about Jinsaw, the date. And then Xian is like venting. She went to paradise,
Mm-hmm.
now she's venting about her frustrations with Jinsaw. And then Minsol does confirm that Jinsal does talk to her in the same way. So
Yeah. And she also didn't like it.
yeah, I guess she did say she didn't like it. I took it. I don't know if she said like at first, but I took it as like more like, oh, I didn't like it at first, but then I realized like that's just how he talks. Like he's not. I think why people don't like it is because I think when people use it, like I think when people talk a different way all the time and then they use it occasionally, it like means something. At least that's how I've interpreted it. But he's doing it all the time, so it kind of like takes away the meaning
sting
behind it. Yeah, if you're that's just how he talks. But that kind of highlights that like, okay, he is being consistent. He's not doing this to me personally, which is the kind of like how I saw it. And then Theon isn't sure if Junsol actually had a good time with her on either of their dates because he only would use words like nice and good to describe like how he was doing. Is that kind of the vibe?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I like cut back to like show that as an example, but
yeah, I don't remember.
I can see. I guess I can see maybe why she sees that.
Mm-hmm.
She has described him as not expressive.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
Makes sense.
But then what was funny is that she says this, and then Minsol confirms, right, that that's how Junsol described their first date, the Sion and Junsol date. He was like, "Oh yeah, it was fine. It was good."
Yeah.
So that actually thought was kind of funny because now Sion is like, wait, maybe that's just maybe I don't know. I don't know how you would read that if you're Sion, right? Like, oh, maybe he did just have a nice good time, and that's not good. I guess. Like, I understand why you would want it to be more.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was funny that it lined up that he happened to say the same thing to Minsol because, but like we think he said that to Minsol to like minimize the date. At least that's what we said before. But now it's like, well, okay, maybe he said the same thing to both of them. I don't know. So he's like he wasn't minimizing it at all. It's just how he describes it.
Yeah, it's just how he talks.
Yeah. The one thing that I feel like goes over Sion's head, at least it appears that way throughout this conversation, is like Sion is not emphasizing at all that like she went on a date with Junsol 2 days ago, and then he immediately picked her again, which has to mean something, but I feel like she's really trying to ignore that, or I don't know why she's not bringing that up.
Well, yeah.
Like she's questioning if he had a good time on the first date.
But they also had a very bad second date. Like it was
they had a bad second
so
date,
bad.
But she's like framing it like I'm questioning whether he even had a good time on our first date. But it's like he's the one that proved by selecting you that he did have a good time on the first date. Like if anything, he might be questioning whether you had a good time on the first date because you know.
I don't know. I'm sure she could be all up in her mind about like, oh, maybe he just isn't feeling it with anybody and was just like, sure, I'll just pick you. Like, I don't know. When you start to doubt things, sometimes you get all up in your head about nonsense.
But this continues. Okay. Yeah. So because then Sion says like, Junsol says he likes me, but it doesn't feel genuine, like something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then Minsol's like, Minsol, who has watched Junsol now pick Sion twice in back-to-back paradise opportunities, is like, but why don't you think he's being genuine? And I was like, fair. I was like, come on. And then I feel like Sion doesn't really address this question and instead just describes how her and Junsol are different. And she asked him to be kinder to her and that he said he would try to be more gentle. He somehow, like, I don't know if this was really a justification for why he's being not genuine. I don't know if we missed something or she just couldn't answer that question. Like, I don't know if she got stuck like Jongsu did, where like he couldn't really answer the question, so he just like said something unrelated to like change the context of the conversation.
Well, in a way, it's like related because right, like she needs to hear the actual words, and he's not doing it because of just the way he is. So him trying better is in theory later telling her the words she needs to hear.
Why is Junsol not being genuine? Oh, he's different, and I asked him to be kinder, and he said he would. How is that like an example of how he was not genuine? I don't know. It's
like
really
in order for her to believe that he's feeling genuine or he's being genuine, he has to like say the words that he has to keep giving her that sort of verbal.
Like that, right?
I know she doesn't say it like that, but I think that's weird. What's going on and how she jumps from one thing to another in this conversation.
Okay. Then I feel like Minsol has what I think is the correct interpretation of the story, which is Junsol really likes Sion. That's like she told the story like I don't know if he even likes me, And the only thing I took out from the story is like, yeah, he fucking likes you. What are you talking about? It's just like, I don't know. Minsel took this great. Like, honestly, like, if Minsel had gone and cried after this,
Yeah.
I would have been like, fair. Like
Well,
that,
all it takes,
that was crazy.
all it takes for her is that Shion like mentions that Junso said Minsel was on his mind, and she's just immediately back in it and pumped again.
Well, yeah.
Like
How
it
could you
takes
not be
the
smiling about that?
smallest amount of thing for her to just be like, yeah, this
That's
could
not
work.
that's not a small thing at all, though, right? Like this guy was on a date. Well, okay, this is how it's presented.
Yeah, but she might be on his mind, but he's not picking her for dates. One of those
Yes.
is more important.
Oh, absolutely. One is more important. But in the context of Sion's story, it was so we were at dinner, and out of nowhere, Junsal was like, "You know what? I've been thinking about Minsel a lot lately," which is not how the conversation went at all. But you don't know that if you're Minsel. So it
That's
sounds
true. Yeah,
like
yeah.
this man is on a date with another woman, and he's thinking about you. How could you not be happy about that, Sarah?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But a very inaccurate representation of how that conversation went. Yeah, and then there's a big back and forth between sharing stories about like this is what Junsal said to me, and this is what Junsal said to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but like I got the vibe that like, or my kind of interpretation of this was like it felt like Sion was trying to like justify or create a reason why she's not gonna pick Junsal. And she like I don't like I don't know how much credit to give her to like is she doing this on purpose or is she just bad at remembering details? Either way, it's like it's unappealing to me either way, but I don't know.
Well, I think
It
like
felt
she's
like
latching onto the things that made her feel a certain way, right? And so like it's easy to like forget some of the like details that led up to it when you have a strong emotional response to some of
yeah,
the
I
things
guess
that were
so.
said.
Yeah.
And I think she's just working through how she feels about it right now. You know, I don't think she's laying any groundwork for not picking him. I think she's just like they had the first date and she was really confused about who to pick, and then by the end of the night, I feel like she was kind of like, "Okay, I think I know what I'm doing and it's this guy right here." And then they have a terrible date and he says some things that make her feel strongly that this isn't great. And then she's like, "Fuck, now I'm back to deciding this again," and is just distressed about the whole situation.
Yeah. I guess I what I didn't like about it though is like it very much felt like she was like trying to paint it as like Jun Saw's the problem.
Yeah, the problem is he's not how she thought he was. He's not
Yeah,
giving her the
I
thing
feel
that
like
she needs.
it
And
dipped into
yeah.
like it dipped in a little bit to like trying to make him seem like the bad like a villain in a way. I don't know. I could be overreading that, but that's how
Well,
I kind of saw it.
I mean, that feels a little strong, but also like she feels bad now, you know? Like he kept doing things that she didn't like and it made her feel bad. So when she talks about it, of course he's gonna sound bad, you know? I don't think she's trying to like make him seem bad. It's just her natural reaction to what happened, you know?
Yeah. I don't really like it either way, but yeah, cuz there's even a part where I like the sketchiest part about Jinsol is the Minsol story. And Minsol's like sharing the story, and I think she's representing the story pretty accurately. With like the only detail being I don't know what the tone was. It's weird either way. I don't know what the tone was when Jinsol said, "Hey, do you want like was he like, "Hey, do you want to go to paradise?" Like with the with me being implied, or was it like, "So do you want to go to paradise?" Like in general. Like
Well, that
I'm not.
seems like a silly
Yeah.
question
Either
because like
way,
everybody
it's
wants to go to
either way,
paradise.
it's
Like,
weird. And he was in the situation where he was picking, so I totally get why she thought she was getting picked, and
yeah.
I think that was sketchy. But it turns into a back and forth of like her sharing that story, and then
Mm-hmm.
Sion's like, "Well, on our paradise date, he told me you don't even have to pick me. I'm choosing you no matter what." Which I felt like was an
Yeah.
exaggeration of the hey, if I win the men's game next, I'll pick you to go to paradise again. You know, I feel like she was like exaggerating what he
Was
was
it though?
saying.
Didn't he also say like hasn't he also told her that he's just like in on her now?
He said it to Theo, I guess,
No, but I
but
thought
not to
he
her.
did he not say to her like on their date,
Oh,
whether
did
the
he?
first one or the second one, probably the first one, where he was
I
just
only remember the
like,
flashback of the I'm
I don't
picking
remember
you.
now.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I was at this point. I was really not vibing with Sion. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I just think it was trying to make Junseo look more sus than he is, when in reality they just don't fucking match. And it would be just be nice, much nicer if she just realized they're not compatible instead of like being like, this Junsu guy kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, I agree with her. I think he does kind of suck. Like, maybe not for all the reasons honest. She says. No, for just all the, like I said, not necessarily for the reasons she says, but nothing, like, I just think there's other things. Why he sucks. Yeah, I just think generally he kind of maybe sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching her explain why he sucks, no go.
Fair.
No go.
Yeah. Game time?
Sure. We don't have to get to it. Did you like this game or not?
It was whatever. I don't understand why Shion was trying so hard, which why?
It didn't matter. She just had to get top 3, yeah. Hey, you don't know, maybe Halen's feeling spicy. She's going to snipe your date.
Yeah, but like even still, like why is she trying so hard to go back on a third date with a guy that she had a terrible date with, or go back to the guy who very obviously lies to everyone? I don't know. It's just like, why is she so concerned about, yeah, I think she does. But like she really goes hard, and it's just like seems everybody like no reason to. Well, yeah, there's reasons for other people to go hard.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And like we've also seen her be like real close with like Heijin, and it's like she wouldn't even like do her buddy a solid and just like let her buddy win. Like, does she really need to go to Paradise again? I don't think so. But okay.
I put in my notes, isn't this show more interesting if she doesn't go? Like, if she does, we don't get to see her choose. That makes the show most compelling, right?
Yeah, because then you don't know even further down the line. Yeah. And then maybe she spent some awkward time with all of them or whatever. Yeah.
It's almost like after, like at some point in the show, I've been saying like, oh, Theo should have gone to Paradise. But maybe Sion should just have never gone to Paradise. You know? They should have made...
That's true.
Sion... They should have all made her and the 3 guys, they all have to stay in Inferno. We'll see the other people in Paradise. And then they have to sort out their stuff on Inferno.
Yeah. You're too popular. You stay near the dumpster.
You've been enough times. I think especially a cutoff is like, do we ever need to see the same 2 people go to Paradise together again? Has that ever been really good, like really good TV to see 2 people go again?
Yes, not. I mean, if they're cute to watch, I'll watch it. But there is something to be said about like, okay, once you've gone to Paradise with someone, you can never match with them again, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying every date is like a horrible watch or it can't be cute, but in terms of the story in terms of like adding to the story, has it ever been valuable to see the same 2 people go? And in terms of if you're just like production and you're planning for season 5, and you're like, all right, we need to, we could take more control over what happens and who goes to Paradise and who doesn't. What are some like they're not rules, but what are the things that we can look for to at least that will trigger us to at least think about maybe changing a rule or making 2 people go, or saying, hey, you know what, you're not going to go anymore. And I think that what you just said is perfect. Like, if you've ever been to Paradise with a person, you can never go to Paradise with that person again. I think that would actually be...
Yeah, that'd be great. Because then people who are like super hung up on people get a chance to go with that super popular person, you know? Like, because they can't go again with the same person.
I feel like it's not... because what I really want is, like, at some point, I just don't want Sion to go with anybody anymore. It's not like I don't want her to go with like Dongho just because he's the only guy left she hasn't gone with, right? Like I just want her, like, at some point she couldn't, you have to just be able to tell, like, she could not possibly be willing to add a 4th guy into the confusion of who she's gonna go with, right? So I think at this point we can just say, hey, you know what, Sion, you don't need to participate in the game. You know?
Yeah, we're at an odd number of women anyway. It would make everything easier.
And the tournament was super awkward because there were 7. At least they let everyone participate, but the tournament style was goofy because of it. They totally could have just been, you know what, Cian, you've been the most, you know. We're just
nobody wants to see you there anymore. Yeah.
Now I guess it's tough because I guess 2 things you'd want to see is if you're me, you want Minsol to go with Junseo, right? But at the same time,
he's gone too many times too. Yeah,
I guess he's gone too many times too. Yeah,
And she already went with him.
And they already went together. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they should just all stay back. They should all not go.
Well, okay, wait. Let's see. Arn already went with Dong Ho, so she doesn't get to go. Halen already went with Dong Ho, so she doesn't get to go with him. Who gets to go? Who's going in this scenario now? I guess Halen could go with somebody else. Same with Arn. Agent can't go with the guy she's interested in.
It's tough because the Game Changers like got to do one. Should those count though? Should the Game Changers like choosing people without knowing them? Should that count?
Okay.
Or maybe the like first impression Paradise dates, they don't count. Maybe. Or I don't know.
All right. But if they do count, we finally get Yujin Dong Ho date. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Yujin being a pool shark, the way she starts out in this, she's up against Jiyeon, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so scared," and acting all cute and whatever, and then she immediately starts to rank Jiyeon on this game, and it's great.
Okay.
I don't know. I loved it, but yeah, I don't know.
It's also just better. It's just better drama if we don't have people getting to a point in the season where they're essentially making the same decision as the final decision of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, like, it felt that way with Junseol. When Junseol picks Sion, it feels very 99.9% that's what he's going to pick at the end.
Right.
And if we just didn't allow him to pick, now, if somebody, you almost have to go away from, like, the game aspects of, which is, a big part of their content at that point. Or, like, maybe he can win the game and then decide, well, I'm not allowed to go since I've been with the person I want to choose. Maybe he can decide not to go, but I guess that could give away who he's going to choose also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have it fully thought out, but
there's something there though.
I'm just trying to come up with ways like surely production knew what the best case scenario was, and they could just make it happen.
Right. That's so dicey, but yeah, okay.
All right. So
what we get? Jiyeon in first, and then Halen, and then Yujin, right?
Jiyeon, Halen, Sion, Halen, Yujin. So Sion wins again. She's gonna go 6-time to Paradise.
Ridiculous.
Overall, I did not like this game. I think it was kind of cool to see the women actually have to participate in something physical, but this was more along the lines of like the fight pit where it's like awkward physical, where I liked the Korean wrestling that the guys did the best, where it's like, it's physical, like you have to wrestle each other, but it's like you fall to the ground and you're out. Whereas this was awkwardly like,
feels a little more civilized.
They're really going at it. There's like no rules. Like they're not limited in their movements. So it's like really like MMA, anything goes. And it's not like once somebody goes down to the mat, it's like hard for them to push them off. Mm-hmm. So if it turns into just like ground grappling with people that don't know how to ground grapple. I don't know. It's just not a thing.
But did Junso coaching Minsul make you feel some things? Little hope?
In terms of little hope?
Like he was just shouting out like what to do to help her win? No?
Yeah, why not? Okay. I was glad they put that in there. I was like, yeah, here we go. He at least he's helping the second place person. the person that's second on his list. It's not nothing.
Yeah, but he's also like about to go break up with her or whatever. Like, I don't know. Feels weird.
He still likes her second most. Who was she against?
Does he though?
Who was she against?
Does he?
It was
Halen?
Halen? Yeah, why would he help Halen,
Well, why do you have to open his mouth anyway? You didn't have to. I just feel like it's another way to like make her think that he thinks things about her.
It's just not at this point in the show, it's not a priority romantically.
Well, yeah.
But he's still also could still be a friend that he was like, I want you to. I guess you're saying that.
So none of these other women are friends either. Like, which is it? Does it for friends
on the show that's better than the other? Now, if your point is that if Minsul does win, Minsul's picking him, and maybe he wouldn't want that. At this point.
That's the point. If she wins, she's 100% gonna pick him. So he is here theoretically trying to help her win. Does that not imply something? And I don't think he actually feels the thing that implies. So don't do it.
Yeah, just in the I didn't think it. He's just in the moment and he's rooting for he's trying to help the person he wants to win.
But why does he want her to win? Why does he want her to win?
I think it was just a spur of the moment. It's a heated fucking wrestling match.
Okay.
You really think it was calculated? You really think
he's not a person that uses a lot of words? You think he'd know how to keep his mouth shut? That's all I'm saying. Okay.
That is, yeah.
Okay.
You don't know how he acts when when things get physical though. Might use a lot of words. He's
Guess
not.
so.
His thing is he's not expressive enough for Sion, but this has nothing to do with expressiveness. It's just like advice on something that he's good at.
Yeah.
He has training
But
specifically in.
yeah. But again, she was the only one we saw him help.
Okay, this is not a sketch thing. I'm done with it. Not
No,
sketchy.
it's totally a sketchy thing. It's
not
don't give
don't
some
like the guy, but this is not sketchy.
Yeah, this guy's sketchy. This is implying something.
All right.
Okay.
Sion wins. I wrote Sion did like okay. See, there's like triple threat matches in this, right? Especially the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the triple threat matches. They had to do one in the first round because of the numbers, but Sion does like a good job of because Sion is already going with whoever she wants, right? You pointed,
right?
You said this right, but like she did a good job of like not getting involved in Halen versus Eugen until the very last moment, and I was like, God, I fucking hate that. I hate it so much, and that's another reason.
But no, I mean, she was using it as a way to like push both of them in. Like she had hands on both of them. She was just only successful in pushing one of them in.
Yeah, because she was trying to win, which you were criticizing. Yeah. Why are you trying to win? I don't mind with her trying to win, but you can recognize that, okay, there's not a lot at stake for me here, so I'll let the other stuff play out. But once it's just me versus somebody else, I'm going to win because you're competitive, right? But okay. I just think she shouldn't have even touched anybody until one of them was fully in the water because she had no stake in it. And the other two have a very high stakes. Maybe not because Dongho might just pick R no matter what. But to them, it was important to get this date. Neither of them had gotten dates for a while. So, yeah, I don't know if, like, her going down changed the outcome. Maybe Eugen goes in anyway. But I just think she shouldn't have. She basically leveraged the rivalry to try to win the match that didn't matter. So at that point, I agree with you. Why is she trying?
Well, yeah, at that point, she could have just jumped off the back of it and been like, whatever, I get what I want. I'm not after the guy you're after. But if you're going to be in it to win, I think like she did the thing that you would do to win, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, but it's perfectly simple to do the in between, which is I'll let them decide, and then I want to participate in the thing because it's fun.
But if she successfully pushed them both off in that moment, like she was trying to, that's like a way easier win. So why not?
But she's affected. Okay, are you really not understanding what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree.
You don't agree. You think what she did was right.
Yeah, because she was trying to win. If she was trying to do the thing, which is let me not interfere with them because their result doesn't affect my result, then she just like steps off. Like, like
if somebody does something that's unethical, but they were trying to do it on purpose, does that make it right?
No, I'm saying like if unethical is not the right choice for this.
I think it's unethical.
It's like either you're trying to win or you're trying to like do somebody a solid, right? Like
nope.
If she's in this with the mindset of like, I'm going to win, this was the way to win, right?
It is not black and white at all. There was a clear-cut way to do both. Try to win and not decide the outcome.
Yeah, but like if winning is going on the date with the person she wants to, like it was easy. She just steps off the thing. She was in there was no way she was not going to be able to go with the guy that she wanted to. Like, I don't know. I don't see this as a big deal.
All right. Yep. Overall, I don't need to see this again. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Make them do Korean wrestling. That was great. Who cares?
Yeah, that was fine.
All right. Jungsu is still saying Eugen's just a friend. There's like a guy's chat. That's all.
Yeah, they're speculating on who Eugen's going to pick. They don't really come to a consensus, but he's like, no, it's not that way. Oompa Loompa.
Yeah. Somehow Sion is going to dump Theo. She cries, not him. The other two guys are higher on her list. Actually, what the fuck? That's what I wrote in my notes.
Yep.
I at this point, if Theo is truly off the table, I have to think she's picking Jongsu.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that everything at the end of episode 10 is like what it's gonna be at the end, right?
I hope not.
I mean, they did show them having an awkward second date, and maybe that's an indication that like that's what's. They're using that to sell that Jongsu is a possibility. So maybe not. But I'm just so down on the whole thing that I'm like, I'm just pick Jongsu. Just go pick Jongsu. Let Junseo not be part of this anymore. Learn from your mistakes. Go pick Jongsu.
Is that learning from mistakes? Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully she would go back and watch the show and be like, okay, yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
messed
yeah.
up, but yeah, I know that wasn't that was maybe not the right choice.
I mean, as much as I think this is dumb and she obviously should pick Theo, I'll give her credit for like, I don't know, being direct and like telling him that it's, he doesn't have a chance.
I would agree with you, except for the crying part. The crying part is where I don't
Okay, but
agree with
she's
you. But
feeling some things, Maybe she should
yeah,
have kept it together for the sake of,
I don't think
him,
she's
but
fake crying. She's real
yeah.
crying. But
Yeah, okay, so she's feeling some
gonna break
things.
up. If you're gonna break up for somebody and you're really decided on it, I don't think. I don't know. Especially for a relationship that's less than a week, I think we can hold back the tears.
Well, clearly she can't. Maybe she's just a big crier. If I'm in an argument with somebody, I cry. Like, I'm not gonna hold it against her.
Oh, okay. I don't know why that is a justification for this, but okay.
Well, just like there's plenty of times when I don't want to cry, and just because like I'm feeling awkward in a situation, it happens. Some people cry easier than other folks.
Okay. I think it's a little yeah. I don't yeah, it's just weird. With Theo here, it's weird. Weird moment.
Okay,
Then Theo says some really nice sweet stuff. Is this actually
because he's
over?
Theo. Yeah.
Is this actually over?
Mm-hmm.
This is when I think
Yeah.
this is when she starts crying the most. Right? It's like he
Yeah.
takes it so well.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts yeah, I don't know. Is this actually over?
I think it is though.
Is it?
I mean, why
Is
would
it
you go
though?
through all this shit and then like turn it back around again and pick him anyway?
The way it was edited did feel very like, oh, this is the conclusion of the Theo story. But
Mm-hmm.
is it
Yeah.
over though? Is it? I have to believe that maybe it's
Okay.
not for the sake of me looking forward to the next two episodes of the show, but
No, I'm gonna be a lot angrier with her if she does waffle on this. If she went through the effort of breaking up with him and then goes, "Oh wait, no, sorry," like that, I'm gonna be more pissed at
I
that.
would at least be like, okay, she got there. You know, she struggled. I understand. I totally understand if she hasn't figured out what she's looking for. That's fine. But at least she got there, and the tears, like it was like, okay, the tears make sense now. A little bit. I don't know. The her behavior on the show would make a lot more sense to me if she ends up picking Theo. So
Hmm.
that's why I would be happier. In general, like when I watch shows, like if someone is just like logically consistent with their behavior, that's
Uh-huh.
like usually enough for me to be like, oh, I like this person. like, yeah,
Most people, especially on TV and in related to feelings, don't behave perfectly logical. Oh.
yeah, but I know there's wiggle room there, but I just feel like she's really all over the place, and that's why I don't know. I don't think I'm that hard to please, and I really don't like her. There'll
She
be
is
some
only
semblance.
25. Like her brain's
That's what I'm
just
saying.
barely finished
That's
baking,
exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. She's not ready. All right. Okay. Junsol breaks up with Minsol.
Yep. Second
Actually, what the
breakup.
fuck?
Mm-hmm. No,
Season's
this isn't
over.
surprising at
It's
all.
not actually
Yeah.
surprising, but it's like, what the fuck? Season's over. Why am I watching this anymore? like that's really after both of these scenes back to back, the show is just over. I guess I wrote my notes. Like what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we're expected to believe both these scenes now, maybe okay. This is my other theory. I'm gonna throw out the craziest theories now because I don't care. We need to make this interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Did they show us both these scenes because it masks the Jinsol one seems very
Uh-huh.
genuine, seems genuine, very genuine. But showing both these scenes back to back masks the fact that Sion is somehow going to pick Theo in the end.
Wait, why did Junso seem more genuine to you than Shion's?
Well, he didn't cry. That's for sure.
So he showed no emotion in breaking up with someone. That's the positive. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying it's a positive or negative. It just seemed seems
like,
more. But you're taking the word genuine as like, oh, if you're being not genuine, you're evil. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying.
no, but I mean, like, I just feel like you're being way harder on her than you are on him. And
I'm not being hard on her. I'm just trying to predict the outcome of the show. I don't care if she picks Theo. I'm not hating on her. If she picks Theo, if she goes back on it, I don't care. I don't care if she waffles.
I don't know. I like, okay, so here's the thing I saw about the Jinsol breakup with Minsol is like he would barely even look her in the eye while he was talking to her. He was just like real absent from this conversation, it felt like
very consistent with a lot of his conversations with everybody, but yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It just they'll like, I don't know.
You don't like Jinseo. I get it. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't like.
But it doesn't mean. But don't you?
But
But doesn't it make you believe him more in this moment? Like you believe.
No,
that Minsol has no chance.
Because like, well, yeah, I believe Minsol has no chance because of all the other shit he said, and I feel like he has had many times with her where he's been kind of disingenuous about, how he's feeling or the direction he's going. Maybe not in this particular time, but like
literally one time. But yeah, okay.
I mean, no.
All right.
I mean, he said a lot of shit I didn't like, but still,
yeah, he said things that you do not like about him. I understand you do not like Jinseo. Saying that he has like lied or been disingenuous.
He has been disingenuous with Minsol.
The one time,
it is pretty big time though. Like
okay, but I'm just saying you're trying to paint it bigger than it is by saying he's been disingenuous with her multiple times.
Well, I'm trying to remember everything I didn't like about this man, but he's also like
he said something about women and getting ready.
But no. There's other times he's like when he was talking to Minsol about. No, there's been lots of things. But I mean, in terms of, I'm narrowing it down to being disingenuous to Minsol, is before this last Paradise date, there's also times when he's like really downplayed dates with other people. And
he also just downplayed to the actual people, apparently.
Well, yeah, like he's just, I don't know why, like, but like what, like
you don't have to like him, but problem is he's not being like he's one of the most honest people we've ever seen on the show. Like to paint it like
he's direct, but that doesn't mean he's always being honest. Like he's direct about a lot of things, but I don't think
he can be honest and you don't like him. It's fine.
yeah. Honest. I just don't get like, I don't know why like this is a more genuine breakup than the Xion breakup. Like she done broke up with him.
All right. Now I really hope she picks Theo. This would be an incredible turn of events.
Well, that's just more proof of her waffling. Like, I mean, that's in line with her character all up to now.
If we come on the next podcast and Sion has picked Theo, you will not be willing to admit that Sion's breakup was less disingenuous. Are you really going to say that to me right now?
Yeah, because I believe in the moment she believed she was... God. No, 100%. Like, I believe when she was breaking up with him then, like, she meant it. And then waffling around as she does, decides to change her mind again.
See, I didn't mean to say that she didn't mean what she said in the moment, but I like her crying does show some level, or at least I would think about Theo, shows some level of like, oh no, there's still something there, and that's why she's crying.
Well, yeah, to me, like showing some emotion during like a breakup thing shows that actually it meant something to you, and that's a better sign than, I don't know, this guy who won't say anything. Yeah, it's less than a week, but like, that's what we signed up for watching this dumb show, right? It's like, we're supposed to pretend we believe in this love thing, right?
The real reason she's crying is like the same reason we saw her crying in Confessional before, whereas like the show is making her choose and she doesn't want to choose. And and now she's like feeling a certain way about having to choose or liking multiple people at the same time. That's why she's crying. And she's probably not going to pick Theo. But I'm going to hold on to hope for the sake of interest.
All right. Okay.
All right. Minsol. Oh, Minsol tells Jinseo she's just going to keep choosing him. Respect.
Yeah, that's the move that everybody does.
Now, some people switched. Well, some people had other options, I guess, which is why they switched.
Well, like Heijin switched because she went, "Oh, Jungso, you suck," and that's why she switched. Yeah, it wasn't you're not. Like... Yeah. Minsol doesn't think he sucks, so she's just like, "Yeah, I'm still gonna pick you." That's the move.
Yeah, I remember like respect for their producers for like showing us what's actually happening, but at the same time, like, don't we want the TV show to be be right? Like, it's not like
you can only work with what you got, though. Also,
made the show. What?
Like they can still only work with what they got. At the end of the day, like these people make decisions that do not make good TV. They gotta salvage it the best way they can.
Yeah, they made decisions with what they got, which was they had a story of people having multiple options, and they had the ability to make it seem like those options were on the table all the way up to the end, and they chose not to do that. Instead, made the decision way less interesting.
Yeah, but if they have like no more positive interactions with each other, or like if Theo's just moping around this damn island for the next 2 days or whatever, like
that's true.
I guess you just don't show him the whole time, but it makes it harder.
Yeah, if they literally had nothing to show about Minsol like talking about Jinsaw anymore, or like in a way that seems like she's still interested, I don't know. She's still gonna pick
Mm-hmm.
him in the end. So I mean, I don't know. It feels like at least something like I don't know. Like, are they gonna show Theo? I guess they had no signs of Theo like ever. If they have nothing to show of Theo ever even talking about Sion or something in the last
Mm-hmm.
2 days, maybe. Yeah, I guess.
And we do have a lot of people just going around telling other people, like, this is who I'm picking. And if that is all these people are ever talking
Yeah,
about,
why are
then
we showing
it's.
that? I agree. Why are we showing that?
Well, but I'm saying, like, if this is all these people are ever talking about and there is no other content, it's just people being like, yeah, I'm picking her. Like, I guess you cut down on the number of episodes, but maybe they had a hard limit on how many they had to do.
I think reality TV has been able to make stories out of far less than what what they have to work with here, and they're just like choosing. Again, I just think it's weird, and something weird's gonna happen, but we'll
Okay.
see. I feel like something weird has to happen to like justify the weirdness of the edit, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I like this conversation between Junsaw and Jongsu, where
Yeah.
Junsaw is like pretty much straight up just questioning the validity of the format of the TV show. Right?
Wait,
It's
what?
like he says to like Junsaw says to Jongsu like I don't know about like the validity of like us coming out here and falling in love and like
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
which is like
Is this
something
like the first time you thought of this? That okay?
yeah, but it made me feel like, oh, so Junsaw actually thought like you come on this show to find love. Like that he must that's the only way you
Is
say
that
that, right?
true?
Like what if you knew that coming on the show was like if you didn't feel like coming on the show was about was about finding love, you wouldn't be saying like, "Oh, I'm starting to question the validity of the format of the show." Like you would already know that.
Or I guess I kind of felt like he was like maybe feeling other people are taking this like very seriously and like he's supposed like if you relate it to his time with Shion, like she wants him to say the lovey dovey things and he's like, I've known you for 3 days. And that felt like the conflicting feeling. So like I took it away as he's like, you come on this show and you just have a good time or whatever and you match up with somebody, but like I guess the show really actually wants you to feel some things or something, or other people think that's what the show is for. I don't know. I didn't actually take notes on this, but like that's kind of my vibe.
Okay. I didn't write down the exact quote,
But I don't
but
have huge confidence in that, so I don't know.
I just thought it was really weird because again, it's like the show is showing us somebody questioning the
Yeah.
validity of the show that they're on, which
Mm-hmm.
I thought was very odd.
Yeah.
And then we get a double down of Jinsaw saying to Jongsu that he's moving forward with Sion. I guess this was his scene. I guess this is kind of his scene of telling Jongsu what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't as formal as the other one, so I guess I didn't read it that way. But I guess maybe
Yeah.
that's
This felt
why
more
they showed it.
like him just talking to his bro or whatever about how he's feeling, not necessarily being like, I am going for her because I need to tell you because you need to know. You know, he like says he held back on expressing himself to Shion and he regrets it. And I'm like, okay, I guess he does want to change. Oh, I guess. I
And
don't
the moment that Jinsaw said this, I guess I wasn't taking Jongsu as like a serious option, but now I'm looking for anything to make this edit less weird.
know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wrote in my notes, if this season comes down to a decision by Sion and Dongho, that's going to be so boring, right? Like at least
I mean, it's
if
been
nothing
that for a
changes,
while,
if
right?
nothing changes, I mean, it's been that for a while, but they've narrowed it down to the point where it feels like they've told us what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Other than Sion, I guess Sion is the one we don't know. But as I said before, I'm just not person. I don't care about that decision at this point, or neither decision feels good either way. I guess. But I'm not buying the drama of the Dongho stuff yet. Maybe something will happen with Halen. I know the show is definitely going to try to sell us the Halen stuff. And like, what if they just show like Dongho breaking up with Halen and Yujin like right before the end of the like I don't know. At this point, you might as well. We might as well show every single person going to the person they're not going to pick and tell them, "Hey, I'm not going to pick you," and then do the whole ceremony, showing us who they actually picked, as if we don't know already.
Okay, well, here's a recommendation. Come live with me on Ji-Yun leaving by herself Hype Island.
I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that.
Yeah. That's the
great.
whole
That'll
thing
be a
now.
great moment.
That's the whole thing now. Fuck everything else. That's the only thing that matters.
It's a sad whole thing, but yeah. It will be great when that happens. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be the last moment of the show. Oh, what if they make that the last moment of the show? That would actually be incredible.
Yes.
Okay, that might be hype. If they make that the main event of their entire TV show about love.
They're going to go through all the Dong Ho bullshit and the Shion bullshit. And then at the end, you will have forgotten about the evil little princeling and poor Jiyeon who's had to deal with him. And then she's just going to walk away into the sunset by herself, and it's amazing.
Or it could be even worse, where they save Jiyeon and Taehwan for last, and then
she leaves with him. Gonna be so disappointed.
Oh my god, yeah. All right, maybe Hyejin and what's his name? Dong-hoon. Maybe they'll be
Jong-hoon. Yeah.
Jong-hoon.
He's barely on the show. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be nice to watch in Paradise on the next episode. I'm grasping for anything at this point.
Oh, they just randomly show up in Paradise? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, they're not going. Oh, I convinced myself that they should be going, but they're not, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. That's fucking dead. We're not going to get to see them.
There's a pool on Paradise.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to talk about
make it work.
And the things that matter to these people when they're choosing partners.
Yeah, so close to the end. Break some rules.
They should be allowed to break the rules. They should. Oh, you're just telling them to break the rules. Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, wait. We have
production should just tell them, hey, you can start talking about this stuff now.
We probably have a bonfire the last night or whatever, where everybody reveals their shit.
Oh, yeah.
After that, they sneak off, have a fun time in the pool, and it's cute as hell. There you go.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm not actually holding out hope for that, actually. A lot has to go right for that to be good. Like, it has to happen, and then I have to like it, and then I have to root for it. It's a lot of steps, as opposed to Jiyeon just has to be like, see ya, bye, and then that's a good moment. All right.
We end this thing on a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get any selections. Is that suspicious?
No,
is that suspicious? I think it's fucking suspicious, right?
Is it suspicious?
I guess.
You think she's gonna third party pick just some random other person so she doesn't have to make a decision?
She just picks Theo right now.
That's a dick move if she picks Theo.
No, they just didn't show us the scene where she came back and she was like, sorry, I changed my mind. I don't know, it's just weird because like we didn't when Jinseo picked, it was also I want to say it was more up in the air than this. Maybe not. I don't know. It's pretty comparable.
Well, the show was trying to make it up in the air.
If they didn't show everybody being like, "Oh, for sure it's Jinseo," if they were just, I was convinced enough to be interested. So if they had left that as a cliffhanger, I'd have been like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did that to me. What a good cliffhanger." But this time, they've left it as the two guys that I am not interested in her picking at this point. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it seems like a really bad cliffhanger unless something's gonna happen.
I mean, the most interesting thing we're going to get, I don't think it's very interesting, is she's just going to pick somebody for a friend date or whatever.
Oh, she better not do that. That's so weak if she does that again.
And to have fought so hard to have gotten in first to do that. I'm going to be pissed.
That would be actually fucked. Yeah.
But I feel like that's what's going to happen.
It's got to be Jongsu, right? Surely.
Probably. And then the edit will be like, oh no, she's just checking. She needs to check to be able to make her final decision. You know, this isn't the decision. This is her checking. She's still so not sure up until the last minute. Yeah.
Jongsu's just gonna win this because he's last. He goes with her to Paradise last. What about that? That's probably
most recently in front of her face is really the thing that matters.
All Jongsu has to do is not. He just has to bite his tongue at the fire at the end of the show and not say something fucking stupid again.
Yep, that's gonna be real hard for him.
Is it possible that both Jongsu and Jinseo say something stupid right at the end, and then that's why?
And then she goes back to Theo.
Yeah. Oh. And Theo says something amazing. But Theo can do it. He can do it. He's got this.
Okay.
We have to. I refuse to let go of all hope that Theo is actually. It's too.
Oh, wait
crazy.
a minute. Okay. Maybe the Yujin pick for Paradise is important. Yujin picks Theo as a fun date. Shion gets jealous. And then they put them on an awkward double date in Paradise. And she continues to be jealous.
Yujin's third, right? Yeah, so who is she picking?
So she's not going to get Dong Ho.
if it goes Jongsu Dongho, yeah, who the hell is Yujin picking? I mean, it's a good chance like at this point the show could be so boring. It's like Junso Dongho, and then she just goes again with Jongsu. Like I don't know. It could just be that boring.
It could
But
be.
then double date again. Same two people, same group of 4 people. Double date again in
No,
paradise.
almost no. I feel like she's gonna pick Theo because she was buddy vibing with him, right? And at this point, she's not
Theo double date.
trying.
Oh wait, does Theo get the double
Yeah.
date?
So
Oh,
you
okay,
get the
okay,
double date.
okay,
So
okay.
so it's like, okay, she went on a double date with Yujin the night before, saw Yujin with Junsu, was suddenly like, oh wait, maybe I want Junsu. Then Yujin pops in for another double date. This time she brings Theo, and she's like, oh wait, no, she'll just want what Yujin has every time, even though Yujin's just there having fun as a friend.
This could totally happen. Now, I question whether production would hook up Theo on a double date with Sion after Sion has dumped her, dumped him.
Yes,
That
yes.
seems odd.
If production knows what they're doing, that's what they're gonna
Yeah, if
do.
production can feel the
Because what else are you gonna get? You're
question.
gonna get a lackluster date of Shion and Junsu where like he says some pretty things or whatever, and she's like,
Oh,
"Oh
these
yeah,
dates are gonna
that's
suck.
cute."
These dates are gonna
Yeah,
suck.
and then you just get a friend date with Eugen and Theo, which is gonna look like they're having fun, but is ultimately meaningless. But you put those 4 in a double date, and then chaos happens, and that's where
Okay,
it gets
so
good.
are you saying Sion picks Junsaw? That way.
Jungso, no.
Oh, you think it's Jungsu?
She Yeah, because she just saw him on a double date with Eugen and went, I would like what she's having.
But then she's more likely to pick Jungsu if it's a double date with Theo. Unless the date goes bad,
I
but
don't think that's true. I think that Eugen's gonna make it look real good with Theo,
oh, I see what you're saying.
and she's gonna feel jealous, even though they're just friends. But Eugen brings the charisma, makes it look like everybody's having a real good time, and she's certainly gonna look like she's having a better time than Shion is having because Shion never has a big hype fun time, right? Like it's more low key and nobody's laughing. And she's gonna get jealous and then think that that means that she still has feelings for Theo. And also Theo will be right in front of her, which is where she needs a man to be for her to like him. And then bam, picks Theo.
Yeah, I was just wondering if is it more likely to get to Theo if the double date is with Junsaw than it is with Jongsu. But
Yeah, she
these are
needs Theo in front of her.
no,
If
Theo's
he's not
there
in
no matter
front of
what.
her,
No, Theo's there no matter what. I'm just saying in terms of who
oh,
she's on the double date with. Because I feel like back to back awkwards. Like if she doesn't pick Jongsu, that's kind of good for us because that means okay, Jongsu's not a real choice. And then at this point, right, 3 times in a row with Junsaw, and
mhm.
then she has like 2 not so great dates in a row with Junsaw, and then
But then
Theo
she'll
is
be
the
still
last
be
one she
there.
saw.
There'll still be a little like what if Junsu in her head.
There's
I
no
don't
time
know
though.
that
She
it'll.
won't have enough time to make that choice. She has to just go with Theo at that point. I don't know. These are like hypothetically, which one's better in the scenario that probably won't happen. So I'm down for it. If they just make a double date happen, if they just put Theo in the same room with Sion and give her one last chance to realize that this is the guy that she's been telling us that she's been looking for,
Uh-huh.
then production at least tried. That's I'm here for that.
But it relies on Eugen, which production could also just be in there like, come on, just pick Theo. You know you want it. Like you'll have a fun time. You don't got anything going with anybody. Pick Theo.
That's true. Yeah, they should be like they should do that. Why not? They should influence her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it would be awkward if Theo didn't get picked for Paradise, but he still shows up to the date anyway.
Yes, that would be very awkward
after
and
the
weird.
after the rejection scene.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not, before the rejection scene, I think it would have been fair, but yeah, after the rejection scene, I
Yeah.
feel like you have to at least have the excuse of like, well, Theo was in Paradise anyway. You guys just
Mm-hmm.
happened to go to the
Mm-hmm.
same bar again. It was
Yep.
coincidence. All right. Honestly, fuck this show sometimes.
It's still better than last
it's
season.
it's oh, it's definitely better. That's how bad last season was. This is still better
I'm still
for
having an
sure.
okay time with this.
I still think this is like one of the best overall. This is like one of the best casts, and then unfortunately, I mean, it could just be a product of like, oh, the person that gets highlighted the most ends up looking the worst because you see more of them. But
Yeah, that's true.
um, yeah, I think I would love if somehow like I guess I wish Dong Ho was like more interesting enough that they made him like the actual main character, but
Mm.
he's just not. So Sion's the one giving them the indecisiveness and the tears and all the stuff that they're looking for in a main character. So we're stuck with her. But she's not Guan Hee. She's not Guan Hee.
Yeah.
She
She's
is
not
not
Guan Yin. That's
Guan Hee.
great.
She's way better than Guan Hee. All right. Are we watching the last 2 episodes of the show? We're doing that?
Yeah. Pretty sure we're doing that.
All right, I guess so. All right, well, it'll be something to talk about. That's not all night. I guess we could just totally. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what I have more to say if the show just ends how it is. Other than we're gonna talk about Jiyeon not picking Taewon.
Yeah. That's the whole podcast next time. Yeah.
I guess. But even that's just like, wasn't that great? And then
no, I'll go on about how vindicated I've been and how I was right all season about how she's great. Yeah, I'll feel
about how she's
don't
great.
worry.
She's
about
so
how
great.
she's great.
She dumped a man that was awful.
And Taewon
that's a pretty low bar. That's a pretty low bar.
You'd be surprised how often it doesn't happen on this show, though.
Examples, yeah.
Xian's still going after Junsu, so you know.
Yeah, that's a really low bar, but I guess it's worth celebrating.
And I've only been begging for seasons and seasons of all these kinds of shows for somebody to choose themselves and just leave, you know?
So you're glad that Taewon's on the show, that you needed someone like him to make it happen.
Yeah, I did say at the beginning that I enjoyed not liking this man. It was,
there you go.
You know, that was fun for me. It's been fun the whole time. And now it's even more fun that I'm totally vindicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
What the hell are we doing here? Wait. Oh, next time. Well, yeah. Oh, we already talked about how I think it's the old format with the women. With the women standing and then the men choose first.
It does look like they made them stand a lot closer together. They're done with those drone shots and people walking really, really far down the beach.
I kind of hope it's that, unless it's like a new third way of doing it. I didn't think it was very good in season 3, where it was like a mix and.
Oh, it might be.
I mean, I was just down on the whole thing, so I mean, maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked, but it was just nothing interesting was going on in season 2.
Well, we'll see.
Season 3, season 2, amazing. Season 3, no. Season 4, better than season 3. I feel like season 1. If we had to power rank these seasons, I guess we should do that maybe after we watch the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. Let's get through the last 2 episodes.
But season 1 is like, I feel like season 1 is, you're gonna remember it as like, oh, first season of Single Inferno, what a classic. But
and also for us, like first season of Korean dating show in general, so it was very fresh in that way.
The format was good, yeah. If you look back and like look at the characters and the drama of season 1 compared to the drama of like season 4, or the spiciness of it, it's like, oh yeah, I don't think it's as. It'd be tough for me to rank like season 4 versus season 1. Which one was better? I almost want to say
in
season 4.
In terms of spiciness, though, in season 1 there was some massaging that happened in Paradise. I think at the very least there was a little spiciness.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this season's more of like people have slept in the same bed together. There's a lot more hand holding.
Yeah.
Overall, there's a lot more. I don't think I knew enough when I was watching season 1 to like really be upset with people as much. I was just like kind of watching it. We didn't have to. The biggest thing is we never podcast about season 1.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to like overanalyze every little thing they were doing.
I mean, except we did after like okay, we didn't take notes, but we definitely overanalyzed it when we were just talking. That's why we started a podcast.
That's true, but it was mostly it was about one thing. But I think in retrospect, season 1 was interesting to talk about, but probably wouldn't be a good rewatch. Like I wouldn't necessarily recommend like. If you want to watch Singles Inferno, go watch season 1. That shit was crazy. You know, like I wouldn't say that. I'd just be like, I'd probably tell somebody, hey, season 2 is probably the best one if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Are we done? What do we have to do? What do we have to do before we end this podcast?
You have to ask me the question.
What is the question?
That you always ask me. And then I tell you the answer to the question. And then I come up with a bullshit little thing. And
what's the contacting that people can do?
People can email us at keepwatchingpod@gmail.com, tweet at us at keepwatchingpod, Instagram at us at keepwatchingpod, leave a comment under this video on YouTube also at keepwatchingpod, and they can leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And people should tell us how happy they are for me that I'm vindicated that Taewon is terrible. But truly, I mean, now's the time to be like, predictions for the end, right? You think anything crazy is going to happen?
Don't even
Tell
bother
us.
predicting the boring ass story that we're being told right now. If you've
Okay,
got
then
it,
just congratulate me on being vindicated. That is a
if
good.
you
Yeah.
want to predict something that hasn't been told, put it in there. Yeah, but don't get on there and be like, I think Sion's gonna pick Gunsaw. I guess that's kind of interesting. Dongho's gonna pick Arin. I predict Dongho's gonna pick Arin. Or I don't know. I think Theo's not gonna have a match at the end of the show. That's a great prediction. Yeah.
But is Theo gonna go on a double date? Maybe.
Hope so. Well, maybe the sneak preview investigators can figure that out. Well, they didn't really highlight it, so I kind of think that's happening, but we can hope.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, had enough.
All right.
All right, you listen to this. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.